Tonight's going to be great. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be outstanding. Woo! All right, do me a favor, everybody. Please, take a seat. Take a seat. Will you listen for a second? I need everyone in the chat to do me a personal favor. If you could just take a second, please hit that like button before we even get started. We've got a great show tonight. As you can see, we have a few panel members coming in a little bit later. We've got a couple of our guests coming in later, and a couple of our usual suspects couldn't make it tonight. So let me tell you something. I've got a lot to talk about. This panel has a lot to talk about, and there's been a lot going on in the community the past couple of days. But let me say this real quick. In addition to that like button, hit the subscribe button. Go ahead. Something really great happens on screen. It's fun. Your name pops up. Everyone loves it when their names pop up, right? It's the reason you're even here. Go ahead, hit it. Hit a button. But guys, right below that outstanding description you see is the join button. If you guys would please honor the great Mooch, and please join the Mooch Maniac family members, it would really mean the world to me. It truly, truly would. Let me just thank each one of these phenomenal people one by one. By the way, let me say, I already see some great family members out there. I see Jimmy Harrison out there. I see that guy Smitty, Tyson Webb, your boy Roy. There's a bunch of it. The great Jimmy Harrison, Domino Zero. It just keeps going on and on. Guys, I really appreciate you being here live. But do me a favor, phone a friend. Tell a family member. We're live. Get them in the chat right now. You guys have the power. I don't. But let me say this. I want to say thank you to each one of you guys. The great Sir X-Man, JudaZuk, WoolleyGamer, Frostbite Slash, MumbleRanting Gaming, Tyson Webb 509, TrueWiddy, Kn1ght Ripper7, Big Chuck 777, Alphonso Carter, BRAP. BRAP, if you're out there, we're looking for you. Jamie, Damion, CJ UK, the great Jimmy Harrison, Zambila Ice Cream, Andy Hart, Replicant, Dad of War, our major Mooch Maniac. Shout out to Jay Bari, Domino Zero, Supreme Samurai, Who Are You 5, your boy Roy, Smokes 901, Tactical Gamer, Danelle Brown, That Guy Smitty, 4-Star General, Brian B, a.k.a. Delirium Blade. Shout out to Brian. And then our VIP Mooch Maniacs, Shadow Assassin, Rated D Demonic, Strictly! Shout out to Strictly Gaming, the Wise Old Gamer, and the great Percolator 9000, and our honorable mentions, Olamoka 17, Fork Boy, Marty Bison, Brian Carter, pardon me, and Remarkable Nights. Guys, I'm going to tell you something. I'm very excited about this evening. I can't even express to you how great it's going to be. That being said, let me go ahead and say this much. First of all, it's an honor for me to have this gentleman back on the show. And listen, he's taking his time. He's being very selective on where he will bring his talents. It was almost like he were sitting there waiting the first time LeBron, before he went to Miami. The great Eric Jackson is back on the show, the voice of reason. Eric, welcome back to CrossFire, buddy. How are you doing this evening?
Oh, man, I'm doing great. Mooch, thanks for having me. I would say, like, I'm on tour, like I'm auditioning for different, like, shows these days, but this is home, so I don't really feel like I'm auditioning.
Well, I take that as one of the best compliments I could possibly get, E. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Like, I've been on enough now to call it home, man. You know?
Well, I appreciate you being here. And listen, this is going to be one of those nights. I've been saying this all week. I was actually a guest on BRAP's show on Wednesday, and I got to be honest with you. This is one of those situations, and I listened to, we're going to get to our next special guest in a second here, and I listened to his solo cast on Monday. And a lot of what's been going on this past week, E, has been a lot of just community discussion, community debates, okay, going back and forth. So there's not a ton of news. A little bit of news broke today, which phenomenal, by the way, phenomenal news for some. But nonetheless, this is going to be an opinionated podcast. And I think when it comes down to it, E, that's why you're the voice of reason. I'm so honored to have you on, especially, always, but especially tonight. So, E, thank you for being here tonight. Speaking of solo casts, let me just tell you about this gentleman right here. This man right here is probably one of the most entertaining people to hit the microphone in years. Love having him on the show. His energy rivals mine. The great Persona is back on the show. Persona Speaks. Buddy, listen, I got to tell you, man, I love it when you're on the show. And, you know, I usually have you on the show when I have like 9, 10 people on the panel. To have you on tonight, and we've got another 2 coming shortly. The great Jez is coming, 7780, and also I believe the great Big Cloud's on the way. But Persona, tonight's a night we get to hear the other half of From the Heart, okay, on what's going on with the community and get your 2 cents. But Persona, how you doing this evening?
First and foremost, shout out to you, Mooch, man. Shout out to the panel, man. I appreciate the invite. You know, I always love pulling up and coming through and speaking. Shout out to the chat. Yo, chat, hit the like button. You feel me? It's about to be a good show. Mooch, I'm taking bets. Okay, you know, I do this every time I come through to your show, because every time I leave, it's about 5 to 10 to maybe 20 people. You shouldn't bring that person back to the show. That Persona guy is such a fanboy. He's so toxic. Why is he so show for PlayStation. So I'm taking bets. I'm thinking maybe 10 people this week are gonna hate me. You understand? Either in the chat, live chat, or in the comment section. They say, Mooch, you should bring that guy back. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I got something to tell you. Okay?
I'm only human. I'm only human.
Okay? I've got my flaws, just like everybody else in the world. But my preference is always my preference, okay? But now on a serious note, man, I'm very happy to be here. I can't wait to get into the topics. It's going to be a fire panel, guys. Hit the like button, you understand? And listen, guys, you're not going to want to miss this, man. Keep it locked.
I appreciate that, Persona. Thank you. And then a man here, I got to be honest with you, another privilege for myself to actually have this man on the show. Man busts his hump, does so many different podcasts, has his own channel, does his own streams. He's here with us tonight. The very opinionated and the very, I got to tell you something, Hustle. I have you on the show, and people go, Mooch, you got a great radio voice. Let me tell you something. You, my friend, have a phenomenal radio voice. The great Hustle motivates back. Hustle, welcome back to Crossfire, buddy. How you doing this evening?
Hey, Mooch, thank you for having me. I appreciate the compliments. Persona, calm down on the soundboard, dog. I'm over this joint dying when the mic was on mute. Ladies and gentlemen, I go by the name Hustle and Motivate. If you do not know me, don't worry, you soon will. Tomorrow at 12 p.m., Persona kind of alluded to it. I'm only human, so I have one live stream going up at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's going to be about the Last of Us remake, and it's going to be about the Gears of War remake, and a certain ambassador, I just want to put my arm around her, just to let her know, hey, it's all good. We got you. If you want to come kick it, play a game, Hustle and Motivate on all platforms, PlayStation, Xbox, and Steam. So go ahead and follow me there too, y'all. Follow me on Twitter as well, Hustle and Motivate as well. Mooch, thank you for having me back. I know you had asked me a little while ago, but I kind of was dealing with some stuff. But I should be good now. Keep your fingers crossed for your boy. But thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Listen, the honor's all on this side. Go ahead, Persona.
Also, did you say an ambassador?
I'm a game influencer.
Oh boy,
No,
good
wow.
show, Hustle. Can't wait to see that.
Persona didn't think he was going to be able to use that hotkey tonight, but he will be.
Y'all, listen, it's going to be a fun show tonight, I promise.
Well, listen, it's going to be a real fire show. And I want to say this much. Just a couple other quick shout-outs. Shout out to Lino, who says, good evening, Mooch. Good to be back here. Good to see the panel. Lino, thanks for being here. Shout out to the great Zuby Tech, who was a guest last week. And Zuby's here in the chat. And, it's very late over there in London. So shout out to Zuby. And Zuby, thanks for all the information you've been breaking for us that is outside of the norm of us in the gaming community. So definitely tip my cap to you as well, buddy. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and start with Persona. Persona, I'll put you on the hot seat first. And this is actually kind of an easier question. I want to kind of talk gaming first. I like that. That's the one thing I've been trying to do. Let's talk gaming for a minute, okay?
Oh, boy. I mean, based on the new definition, talking and watching games is what true gamers do. So let's do it.
Listen, that's a topic too. Don't you worry about it. That is a topic tonight. But I'm going to start with some fun. So Norman Reedus, go ahead. We all know this, right? This is the news that kind of broke around the world. Norman Reedus kind of broke that Death Stranding 2 is in development right now as we speak. Maybe for some that they're shocked. I saw some shock and awe out there, Persona. I saw some people say, no shit, right? We knew this was coming down the pipe. So let me tell you something. I'm going to start with my simple feelings on this. And you guys go ahead, and I know Persona's giving me a little shit for this. That's fine. That's nothing wrong with that. I got about halfway through Death Stranding, and the only reason I stopped, if you can go check it out, I've got about 44% according to the trophy scale, 44% completed. I stopped because I was doing all the side missions over and over and over. I didn't progress the story enough. I did progress it quite a bit. I got past Central America heading towards the West Coast. I just didn't get to the West Coast. And I love the game. The music's amazing. I'm kind of a Norman Reedus fan. Being the Walking Dead guy that I am. You guys know that. I talk about it weekly. I'm probably the only two people left on Earth, myself and BitCloud Gaming, watching it. Right? Yeah, there's two of us. That's okay. But Norman, he reaches out to Mooch once and again. And, I'm a Norman Reedus fan, and I've really grown an appreciation for Kojima over the years. So let me tell you something. I'm excited about this news. I'm playing Dying Light 2. I tweeted it out. Once I get that done, I probably will not be platinuming Dying Light 2. But I will definitely going into Director's Cut. I'm going to start from the beginning again. I'm going to go through the Director's Cut. I already have it. I bought it. It was whatever the $10 upgrade was. Totally worth it. Going to go ahead and play that, and I'm going to get that platinum. So, Persona, couple things here. First of all, I want to know your true feelings on the game Death Stranding, A. B, what do you think about this as far as this is going to be the next big project for Kojima? So, is this something that you're excited about him using his time and talents with PlayStation, or did you want to see a different IP?
All right, so I'll start with the game itself. Listen, man. If my calling in life was to deliver packages, I'd be working in a FedEx package facility. Okay, I'm in IT. All right, so that ain't my calling. So if that's not my calling in real life, why would that be my calling in a game? I'm good, man. Listen, Death Stranding, I tried. I got to like chapter 5. One thing I will say, the world is beautiful. The music I think is really dope, right? But when it comes to the actual gameplay and the gameplay loop and whatnot, it's just not my cup of tea. I couldn't really vibe with it. I couldn't really gel with it. Because I don't know, the combat was like a little too far in between. And delivering the packages to connect USA. I get the premise, I get what you're trying to do. And listen, Kojima is a legend. I'm not going to take away from that. But with this one, this was definitely a miss for me personally. So in terms of the original game, I'm good. In terms of the new game, Death Stranding 2, listen, I'm gonna have to see a vast improvement on combat, like much more combat.
I agree.
For me to be like,
Combat,
all right, what, I'm going to jump into this, and I'll get this day one. And listen, I've tried like three separate occasions to like get through this game. I just can't, man. Like it's just not, it's not fun to me, man. And I'm not saying the game itself is bad. Objectively, I'm sure it's a great game, but for me personally, as a gamer, I'm good.
Well, and I like what you said. They want to introduce the great BRAP is here. BRAP, you probably were enjoying an unbelievable hamburger, maybe a beverage, an adult beverage.
Yes, I was. Yeah,
I'm sure he loves. BRAP loves his happy hour. God bless him, by the way.
I got together with a good friend of mine. We had a mutual friend that passed away. This week.
Oh, that's right. That is correct.
Yeah. So.
Well, listen, we're just glad you're here, BRAP.
No, I'm happy to be here. And hey, it's not a big deal, right, Persona?
Is it? I mean, you're right.
It's not that big a deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
So, BRAP, I'll ask you then. What do you think? I mean, the great Kojima is making Death Stranding 2 with Norman Reedus, and I believe. Did you? Now, what was your take on the game itself? Did you complete it? Did you play it? Are you excited about a sequel?
I felt like that game, I didn't think it needed a sequel or needs one. I thought that it ended on a good note. I enjoyed it. Great narrative. I think Persona had commented on the combat. The combat was, not great per se. And if there's an area of improvement for the game, it's definitely the combat for sure. Like it's, like fighting the BTs and throwing poop and pee at them and handcuffing them and stuff. I mean that's okay. There's some stealth elements, but it wasn't like anything that made me think that wow, this is great. Like the combat mechanics are great. This is like, yeah. So I mean, I think that's probably an area of improvement, and the traversal too. There's probably an area of improvement there. Although with the director's cut, I think they included some things where you could like slingshot packages over mountains, which are like quality of life improvements. But yeah, I mean,
well, I'm glad you said that though, BRAP. I mean, yeah. the quality of life improvements made in the director's cut and what came out in the additional, software update, if you will, those were big. I played it the day it came out. I played it when it first came out, and I'm telling you, those quality of life. Now they can do the things like Persona was saying. Take time, put a little bit more time and energy into the fighting mechanic. Make that maybe a larger part of the world now. You know what I mean? Make fighting a little bit more than just what was it? Was it the mule locations? Guys, help me out with the business. I'm really jogging.
Yeah, the mules.
Memory.
Yeah,
like was it called mule?
The mules, right. I think. Right.
The mules. Yeah, there was some stealth elements to it. Some combat there. Yeah. A la like Metal Gear, but nothing that was like wow. This combat mechanic. These combat mechanics are great. I mean, very like basic, I guess, but I think for me, like the overall experience outweighed the lackluster combat per se, like where there was great narrative. I mean, there's that scene at the end of the game with Die Hard Man that was like, wow. Like, I forget the voice actor's name. What'd you say? E?
Tommy Lee.
Oh,
Jenkins?
Tommy Earl.
Yeah,
Jenkins.
Yeah, Tom Earl Jenkins. Yeah.
Tom Earl.
Yeah,
Jenkins.
I mean, E, that scene, I think you probably know what I'm talking about. Was like whoa, like it was so emotional. You don't see that a lot in video games.
Out of it by that point, though, Enrique.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
and even.
Do you guys think it warrants? I mean, feel free, hustle, E, jump in here at this point. What do you guys? I mean, does this warrant a sequel? For me, And you know, it's easy. You know, it's kind of.
Mooch,
I didn't finish the game.
I was good.
I actually loved. I loved the music. I loved everything about it. I liked the acting. I like the actors chosen to be in each role. I want to see them all come back. I hope every single one of them comes back.
I thought they were great too. Like the actors and all, I thought was great.
Oh yeah.
My only gripe, like, I mean, it's just there wasn't enough. And maybe this is not fair for in general in a more objective sense, but it just wasn't enough combat for like what I was, even like stealth combat. It was just nothing. And then just the whole going through packages and going up mountains. I'm just like, listen, man, I'm good, man. I'm just not trying to do that.
It was definitely more narrative driven for sure. Like I agree with Persona. Like
and that's the thing I think I appreciated about the game more than anything is that it did try something like different. You know what I'm saying? And there was something really cathartic about, like, you know, and then, again, it's not for everybody. I get that, but I think that's the beautiful thing about, you know, that it falls into that place where people talk about our games art, because, you know, that's always a debate, right?
It's a great point.
And I'm like, if something art's supposed to move you, it's supposed to make you feel a certain way, whether it makes you angry, happy, whatever, sad, whatever, art's supposed to move you, right? You can make the same argument about like a game like The Last of Us 2, polarizing game. Like art should be polarizing, it should make people think, feel however they want.
Like Simulator.
Feel. Right. Something that, you know, pushes like the envelope, and people are still talking about it years later. And I think you look at like The Last of Us 2, you look at Death Stranding, those are games people still talk about, love them or hate them, they spark conversation.
Yeah, I agree with you.
They bring out emotion, they bring out something in people that they want to talk about it, whether they're arguing, debating, giving it like its flowers or whatever the case may be. That's where this game fell. Was that?
No, go ahead, finish your thought.
No, I was saying that's kind of where this game like fell for me. Like, yeah, it's not. I definitely think combat could have been a little bit more, but I don't think that's necessarily what it was trying to go for. Because I think when you got to this point when you were traversing these areas and you started, you know, you got to certain points where you started linking things, and then you were flying around the world. You know, you put that work in, you know, to put zip lines up on this place, and you're flying around making, you know, like the deliveries and pushing the story, you know, further. It was like. I don't know. It was just something to me personally.
Well, let me ask you guys. Let me ask you this, and Hustle, I'll start with you on this one. But guys, please, I think this everybody on the panel needs to say this before we move to another topic. Do you guys think coming from Kojima's other games, let's talk about, let's say Metal Gear, and then going to here, why such a how do I put this? Why such a variance? Why such a gap between fighting mechanics from other games to this one? This one was just because like even when you're taking on like a major boss in Death Stranding. That was some of the times that I felt the most frustrated. It wasn't that it was a hard fight, but it was just kind of like it was just kind of it was just kind of like a stupid situation. You know, there was like that black tar that you had to kind of run through, and if you got stuck in it, it would.
You're talking about the
you
heart,
know,
I know you're talking about.
And I mean, listen, I'm not saying it was difficult, but it was annoying. It was not a like we talk about it all the time when we see like I'm you guys see on screen right now. You'll see some Dying Light footage that I'm playing here, and there's a bit of it that gets a little repetitive here. I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
So Mooch,
but that game, it was frustrating and not in a fun way. You know what I mean? It just wasn't.
Well, Mooch, back to your original like question, like it doesn't warrant like a sequel. I'm kind of in that camp like with Enrique, where it's like I think I was okay with how it ended, how it was done, and kind of it existing as its own thing.
Yeah.
I'm not the game designer. I'm not Kojima, so I don't know. Maybe he has another idea. If I had ideas for what I would like to see from a sequel, is lean more into. I think it was kind of on like a little bit there, but lean more into like that sci-fi and maybe some of the horror aspect of it, because you never really afraid of what like, oh my god, what's going on with the, you know, with these things. And it's like lean more into that and maybe make that more of, you know, some of, you know, the proceedings or whatever, you know.
I would say that when it comes to like a sequel, I don't think it's fair for me to say if it deserves a sequel or not, because I didn't beat the first game. So I'm not going to say, oh yes, it does not deserve a sequel. But I would say, like, you know, in terms of like, you know, going back to like the whole combat thing of what you were saying, Mooch, you know, when it comes to like the combat tropes and things like that, like there's tons of other games that also focus heavily on like the environment, the story, the lore, and things like that, and not, you know, like Resident Evil is a perfect example, right? You're not running through there guns blazing like it's a Call of Duty zombie match, right? Like this is very specific. You need to focus on your ammo, you know, where you're going and things like that. But those, you know, the Resident Evil games for the most part are amazing games. You get what I'm saying? Because the environment, the story, the lore, everything pulls you in, and it's just like, you know, that whole survivability. I just think when it comes to Death Stranding, for me personally, they were trying to go for that type of, even with Metal Gear, right? Metal Gear, it's grounded, well, not grounded, but you've got guns, you got things that you can like kind of do, right? Obviously, the stealth elements is legendary, right? Metal Gear is one of the most legendary, and then the whole story of Metal Gear, that's legendary, man. Like very few games can top that story. But I just think when it comes to Death Stranding, it's the world is too big to be able to hone in on that type of thing. It's like, like at the end of the day, at its core, you're delivering packages. It's just like I'm good, man.
That's the question mark there is, and I'm kind of Persona. You said what I was going to say a moment ago, and I just couldn't find the right words. I'm sitting here telling you that I'm excited for 2 because of reasons like I like to see Kojima get a little bit more in depth into a sequel. I like the Norman Reedus. I like the actors. I love the music, man. Listen, I don't care if you're just do me a favor. Get yourself the soundtrack to that amazing video game. And I think I've said that 0 times ever in a game. Go ahead.
I think that game, in almost in the same way like a psychological thriller would do if you watch a good psychological thriller movie, it elicits a lot of emotion, and at least for me it did. And so like the music and even though the combat was definitely not a high point for that game. But when you encounter the BTs and the black tar, like there was a sense of like a great sense of urgency, like, oh my God, right? Like I haven't encountered these BTs and here I am, I'm encountering them, like your BB and the whole alarm, or not alarm, but like it's what is it? The little like thing that pops up and it starts like chirping, and it's like letting you know that the BT and it's like, and it plays on your emotion. And I think from that standpoint, like the game really hits there. Like that's the strength of the game for me. Like that's almost like psychological thriller, that ability to elicit emotion and fear, because for a lot of the game, like you're traversing, you're delivering packages, and that seems very easy.
Yeah.
And then you hit these points where like the BB, you gotta rock, you gotta get it calmed down. It's crying, it's like a baby crying.
Yeah.
There's a lot of emotional like elements that play into this game. And even when you get to like the black tar, it's not anything that's worth like saying, oh, this combat's great. But when you get there, it's like, oh shit, like you are so focused on that because that emotional buildups already happened before you got to that point of combat. Yeah. That you were like, you're really invested into what's going on at that time. That is the brilliance of that game. And again, like what I said earlier, like when you finish the game, I was like, okay, I'm done. This is great. I completed the journey. I was okay with it. I wasn't saying this wasn't a game where I'm like, I want more, and not that the game wasn't good.
Right.
It did what it needed to do for me.
Well, let me ask this question to the panel though. But because for games like like just to use for example, Last of Us, right? Last of Us or Last of Us 2, I can replay those games and feel as if I'm playing them for the first time and get that excitement and that rush, right? Is Death Stranding, for y'all that completed it or played it or whatever?
Yeah.
Is Death Stranding one of those games that you felt like, when you beat it or when you played it or whatever, you felt like, oh yeah, I can go back and play through this entire game again, and I would enjoy it.
So that's
I was
the
done Persona.
That's the hurdle I'm going through right now. I got so far in the game, and now I've got to go back. And I will say I want to start the game over again, playing the director's cut, because it's been too long for me to just pick up where I left off and pretend like that's okay. It's not okay. So I have to start. But that's my biggest hurdle, Persona.
It was actually my game of the year, but even then I felt like it was one of those games that was a great one-off, different experience.
I think that's okay, though. Persona could, but
that's fine. Yeah.
No, I think that's okay, BRAP, because my counter Persona, you used The Last of Us, which I'm glad you did, because that happens to be one of my favorite games. The audience knows that. I've played The Last of Us now, and people are like, you won't buy the remake. I'll be there the first in line to buy the remake, first of all. And I will, right? And in Hustle, I'm not only that, Hustle, I'm not going to transfer the trophies over like gaming. Shout out to Gaming with Brian. I don't know if he's in the chat or not. But, he's like, do the trophies transfer over? I'm not doing that. I'm earning each trophy again. And to be honest with you, like that's probably one title, Persona, that isn't fair to use in the analogy, because I think a lot of people would say I'll play The Last of Us over again. But there's a lot of games that I truly enjoyed, then I'm not sure I would go back, especially with the catalog of games we always have coming out now, being in the early but mid part of a generation. We got games flying at us, time to time. So would I go back and play some other games off Platinum? Not necessarily, but this game here, the music alone, I think is enough to kind of go back. I mean, I know it sounds ridiculous, but we're talking art, right? We are talking art, and music is a large part when you're talking about the art department. Hustle, what do you think about that? Because I think Persona asked a very valid question.
Well, hold on. Before I answer Persona's question, let me first say, hey, I didn't play Death Stranding, but I do know how it ends, and I think it would have to be a prequel. Also, I don't know if y'all remember, but
all right.
Yeah,
that's actually good. Yeah, never thought about that.
Yeah, so and also we saw Norman Reedus on some red carpet. I'm not sure, but he had kind of spilled the beans on this whole Death Stranding 2 thing. Was it sometime last year? I want somebody on the panel or in the chat to correct me, but I remember him kind of like slip.
I remember, yeah.
Yeah,
I think he hinted it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He slipped up a little bit, and everybody, if you read between the lines, you peep what he was saying. I think y'all hit the nail on the head, dog. I ain't trying to be no delivery man. I'll work at FedEx, UPS, whatever, cause I'm good on that.
Come on, Hustle.
Nah, I'm good. I'll tell you this though. I know that he uses the Destiny engine to to make that product for Death Stranding, and he had learned some stuff, and he had given some of that information he learned back to Guerrilla Games, and they had actually implemented it, pardon me, in Horizon Forbidden West. So that's like a dope thing. So whatever he learns, if this thing is true, if he learns something new and he's able to give it back to Guerrilla, that's cool. One back, scratches the other, or however the hell that phrase goes. I'll be real with you. And Mooch, earlier you said something in reference to like, hey, you never, recommend people that go listen to soundtracks for games.
Yeah.
Sir, I'm gonna just say Chrono Trigger, Halo, there are more than enough games with dope soundtracks.
First
sir.
of all, maybe I said it wrong.
Good.
There's other games that I'm saying I just have not done it. It doesn't mean that I don't believe you shouldn't do it. I actually own the Halo whatever it is, original soundtrack disc. I own that. But my point being is I agree with you. I also own the soundtrack with Death Stranding. I was just merely simply saying
soundtrack.
that this is that too, yeah. But I'll be honest with you, I really think that people should put some time, effort, money down and grab the Death Stranding soundtrack. I think that's something that's really worth it.
That Death Stranding soundtrack, like when you
unbelievable.
Like when the opening scene, Norman Reedus on the motorcycle, when he meets the first time he meets Fragile, who's one of my favorite characters. Like that motorcycle scene just and the music kicks in, it's like wow. Yeah.
I completely agree with you guys there. I'm going to say shout out to the great Marty Bison sends a super chat. The super chat's working, guys. It's an absolute miracle. Hoping my PS5 will start working normally again. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Marty sent out his PlayStation for repair. He's getting a new power supply. So Marty, we hope that you get your PS5 back really, really soon. Shout out to Tactical Gamer. 22 months, Tactical. Thank you so much for the support, man. Honestly, you are a family member. Thank you. He says, is Death Stranding a PlayStation-owned IP, or does Kojima own it? And do you think Sony will publish it on PC or 505 games? So really good questions there. Go ahead, Persona.
Death Stranding is owned by PlayStation. They own the IP.
Yep.
So, but with the way, and I don't want to get ahead of like whatever you're going to talk about later based on the show outline, but in terms of it being released on PC, I definitely think that'll definitely happen for sure. I mean, it did here, so why not?
Absolutely. I guess I'll add a question to you, Persona, just for your opinion. It's an opinion, by the way, guys. I do agree with what Persona just said, but I do believe that it would happen in the same fashion. Persona, do you agree with me that Death Stranding 2 would come to PS5 first, and then at some point down the road go to PC?
Oh, Mooch, since it's your opinion.
It's my opinion.
It's just my opinion.
Well. I do think
Jesus. It's not that big of a deal.
I do think that
I'm a neutral.
PlayStation would probably keep the same release schedule how they had it before, where it'll probably come to PlayStation and then like 6 months to a year later drop it on PC. Or they may, especially again, I don't want to get ahead of the show line, but with what they've been saying recently, they might do day and date on that and be like, you know what, the sales on PC were good. We want to capitalize on that day one and just throw it on now.
There's something to be said for both of them because of this, but I truly believe they're going to stick to their formula because when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, They know that they could sell on PC, but they want to sell on the PS5. Everybody that did buy it on PS5, the original, now knows that, or pardon me, PS4, they know that they're going to have to buy a PS5 to play this game. So I think that the same formula
marketing
works.
would definitely be surrounded. The marketing would definitely be surrounded around PlayStation 5, right?
100%.
Because this is their new console, right? They put a lot of stock, a lot of thought, a lot of care and effort into the console. So I do think, making PlayStation 5 the priority is definitely going to be what Microsoft, what PlayStation does.
Microsoft.
Microsoft must be talking about me in a board meeting right now. So
he's neutral.
I do think that is what they would do. But then again, like I said, I do think PC would be somewhere between 6 months to a year later.
Yeah, Mooch, to that point with the PC releases, I think the one benefit for Sony to release day and date on PC is that they would get those games off their books faster. But like Persona said at the same time, like they want to sell, like the PlayStation console is the focus, right? They want to move units, they want to get people to buy PlayStation. So I think in that regard, maybe they don't do day and date because that is their focal point. Like they want to sell that hardware, right? And they want to entice people to invest in the PlayStation ecosystem. So, I was a believer that they would go day and date, PC, but after a couple conversations with some other folks about this and Sony's motivation for hardware or selling hardware with PlayStation, I'm kind of thinking like maybe they won't because again, PlayStation's first, everything else would be second, and they can still make money off the PC side of things.
Not only that, but looking at their financial report. Especially the most recent one, you don't make a claim of you don't make a claim that you're going to sell upwards of 18+ million consoles over the next fiscal year if you're not putting PlayStation 5 first or putting a priority on that, right? So I agree 100%. I definitely think that's what the goal is, and I think that's the goal with everything. But I'll explain later when you get to that much.
So let's go ahead. I want to change subject slightly here. And by the way, I want to give credit to Hustle and Motivate real quick. Hustle, nice job throwing
DMV, Hustle, DMV, baby.
He threw out the prequel thing, and I got to be honest with you, I think that holds the most water. We'll see if that ends up coming to fruition. But Kojima put together the original one in 3 years too. So if Norman's saying he's been working on this, he's already done some mocap. Because let's be honest, that's what Norman's doing, right? He's reading lines, doing mocap. He's not doing game development. So if they're at that part, they've already been working on this for a bit. So I wonder if we're going to see a Death Stranding maybe in sometime late 2023, maybe early 2024. Shout out to the great Jeff Grubb who's in the chat. He may even have
Are you talking about Xbox exclusives, late 2024?
I'm sorry. No. You're talking about the great Kojima-san. Yes, no.
I'm sorry.
Shout out to Andy Hart. I can understand that. Andy Hart's here. He says Max Payne 3 and Silent Hill Downpour had awesome soundtracks as well. Max Payne 3, yeah. And why can't Max Payne 3 get the next gen treatment? Why can't we get the next gen?
I'm saying though, man, can we get that?
Game is phenomenal.
How you going and I think that was last week they announced the 10-year anniversary of Max Payne 3, and these fools gonna say, hey, so for the 10-year anniversary, we got the soundtrack, and I'm like, what about the goddamn game? Can we get the game?
Can we get the game, please?
Can you at least remaster that on the PlayStation 5? At least throw me a bone.
Can we get higher resolution?
Damn, bro. Like
play it on PC, bro.
Well, that is true, Hustle. Well, Hustle, PC is the best platform to play games. You know this, Hustle.
Hey, you preaching to the choir, man.
Oh yeah, don't listen. You'll have a whole sorts of a war going on your hands
Persona,
right now.
Persona, if you want the definitive edition of God of War, you got to play it on
Enrique
PC.
Thought about it. Hustle didn't have to remind him to play it on PC.
I know I didn't.
Well, I'm gonna answer Andy Hart's question here. Andy says, when does the panel think or hoping we will get the Dead Space remake? That's already been announced. I believe it's January 27th. 2023 is when we're going to be getting it. I've got that. PC, that is literally burned into my brain. That's how I can't wait to play it. So January 27th.
Come on, tell us it's delayed.
Well, come on, E, why you got to do that, E?
Don't say that. Come on.
I'm not buying any more.
He's the voice of reason, not the voice of disappointment. We can't have this.
He's like, I've been disappointed too many times. I'm not putting much faith into it.
Okay, I'm going to switch subjects here, guys, and here comes our big meeting.
Mooch, you might get through your whole show outline tonight, man. This is a real chill panel tonight. You might get through the whole show.
That's what I'm saying, man. I think we're going to be able to do this.
Yeah, normally,
No, Persona, You know, there's gonna be one topic. Someone's gonna say something and like it's gonna go off.
Well,
it's only a matter of time.
normally what happens is we'll be flowing good in the beginning, and then that magic word Game Pass, and it
no,
just,
I don't listen. I don't see.
off to the races.
I don't see Game Pass coming up. I don't see Game Pass coming up, but who knows? You never know.
No, but even if it comes up, I think this is a chill enough panel where we'll be able to have a conversation and kind of move forward, like,
And move on from it, right? Well, I'm going to say, Persona. I hope
Just
you're
mention
ready.
Game Pass.
Persona, grab some sort of a refreshment while I ask this question because you are on the hot seat right now. So, and you already know because you've done 2 shows on this already, okay? But when it comes down to it, the definition of a gamer has recently become newsworthy.
Oh,
okay?
boy.
So
Yes,
it's not just about the Xbox ambassadors that were put on the hot seat, but I mean, there's people that are having debates in the community.
I'm a neutral.
I'm a gamer. So, Persona, when somebody says to you, no, forget. I want you to, if you could understand, Persona, I'm asking you. I want you to erase everything that you have discussed this week. I want you to forget what you've read. If I'm just coming up to you and I got a microphone and I'm asking you a question on the street and I'm saying, Persona, real quick, what's your definition of a gamer? Like, what does that mean to you? And I think that's the best way to start this segment.
All right, cool. So the definition to me of a gamer is someone who watches games and watches games and who watches their friends play games, or people who window shop in the mall at GameStops and Toys R Us. Is Toys R Us still around? Where you can, no, but on a serious note, a gamer is it's very simple, right? And I don't mean this in a very elitist sense or in a rude way, right? Because I was to keep it out of my mind, but gaming is a hobby that we all, and for a lot of us, we grew up with this stuff. Gaming is the culture. Shout out to my boy Jamil. He had talked about that earlier this week. A gamer is someone that plays games. It doesn't matter how much or how little, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't need to be someone that grew up playing ColecoVision and the Atari 2600 and all that. Like, no.
Hey,
right?
easy there.
If you did, I know, my fault, BRAP and Mooch. I know y'all gonna get at me, man. Y'all old boys out here. But
Atari 2600, sir.
I started on Super Nintendo. You feel me? So it is what it is.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I was a teenager on the Super Nintendo.
But my whole thing is, a gamer is just someone who plays games. Like, it's that simple, man. The requirement or the criteria, it's not major, right? You don't need to have this outrageous gamer score or trophy count, you don't need to buy every game under the sun. None of that, man. It's just playing games. That's what a gamer is. So if you enjoy playing Fortnite or COD or whatever, you're a gamer because you're actually out here playing the games. The problem is that within social media, oftentimes, and this is not just with the word gamer, but it's just period. A lot of people are trying to push this whole my truth bullshit or trying to change the definition of words on social media so that it brings it down to their level to where it's accessible, right? And something I said earlier this week is for certain people, especially certain influencers and the checkmark brigade and all this other stuff, inclusivity. The more inclusive you make something for somebody, the easier they are to manipulate. Because it's like, oh man, I feel so welcome here. Let me open my checkbook or my pocketbook or whatever. Let me give. Let me do this. Let me do that. It's easier to indoctrinate. You understand? And obviously, gaming, it's not that extreme, but those type of tactics do happen, right? Gaming, you have to play games. You have to. There is no getting around that. You must play games, but there is no criteria to how much or how little. If you started gaming Monday, you're a gamer. As long as you're playing the games, that's it. There is no other. There's nothing else.
Now, you know what? I'm going to go to, and first of all, Persona, thank you for putting it in the perspective that you did. I want to go to Eric here. Eric, this is one of those situations, okay? You've seen what's going on over the past week on Twitter. You've heard all the shows. You've seen what's happened. When you hear what Persona says and he gave that's his opinion, okay? Not to use his soundboard as
my opinion.
Right? It's just his opinion. But he gave you his definition of a gamer. What is it when it comes to you when you see people say, I'm just watching or I just kind of, partake with my friends. I'm on the couch. They're playing hundreds of hours of games. I feel like I'm a part of this too. versus somebody that plays any game. I mean, Persona kind of really opened it up. He said that you can play any game. You don't have, it's not necessarily about having 100,000. It's not about gamer score necessarily, because like other people have said, myself personally too, I played a lot of multiplayer games and it doesn't really respond, or doesn't really reflect, pardon me, that's the word I was looking for. It doesn't reflect in gamer score if you're playing a game like Warzone, right? You're playing a lot of Apex Legends, Fortnite, you're playing Rocket League. So Eric, when you hear and see what's going on, where are you when this all kind of folds for you, or unfolds, pardon me?
I'm in line with kind of where Persona is on this whole thing. If you're basically a person who just kind of like, you watch, you don't really play, you're not playing anything, you know, you don't really get on the sticks or anything like that, you just watch, then I consider you an enthusiast. Like, I used to skateboard, then I became like 6'7" and, you know, 290 pounds, and my skateboard days were over, right? So I'm not a skateboarder, but I still watch skateboard videos, but I'm not a skateboarder. I'm a skateboard enthusiast. I like what they do. I like watching the sport, but that's not what I do. I am a gamer because I pick up a controller and I play games. Like Persona said, it doesn't matter what you play, but if you're putting time into gaming and you're touching the hobby, then you are a gamer. But it is true, like in this Twitter space and everything else, there's too many inroads to people who don't, they're more on the enthusiast side, but they get so much access to say what they are and what they aren't. And it's like, but nothing that you do or say says that you're a gamer. Like, somebody asks you about the game, you can't explain it. You talk about graphic, you talk about this, but you can't explain what the game that you play was about, right? And then I've seen Persona going back and forth with people say, hey, what's your profile? Not even what's your trophy count, what's this, or what's your gamer score, where's your profile? So you can just see what they like to play, and people get defensive about that. Why? Gaming is a social thing. You shouldn't have to lock down anything. And even if you are a person who wants to lock down your profile for privacy reasons, these same people don't show gameplay on their timeline. They never talk about game.
Did I lose Z? Hey guys, I'm not sure if you guys can hear. Our right now Discord is completely shot. I don't know if you guys can hear or not. Can you guys, everyone in the chat, if you guys can hear me speaking, could you let me know?
And gamer score and trophies don't really matter, because you may have somebody like our shout out to Forte, all they play is Death.
Hold on, Eric. I think they're saying that
no,
they can't hear.
you're back now, guys. You're back now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You get me. Okay.
No, I don't know about what just happened there, guys. I'll just let the audience know. And I am so sorry. While you just gave that entire speech, they didn't hear you. My Discord said, for some reason, it said disconnected. And it said waiting, connecting, connect. I've never seen this on Discord.
That was Microsoft doing that, by the way.
Oh, come on.
The Azure Cloud. Damn it.
He was spitting the truth, and Microsoft, we can't have that. We can't have that.
Sorry,
because
guys,
Microsoft doesn't. Microsoft, the definition of a gamer is you can watch games, watch other people. So
no, we're back, guys. I apologize. So and welcome everybody. I'll take a second here just to welcome Jez7780. Jez, welcome to the show. But if you could just give a brief synopsis, I couldn't even hear you, so I can't even fill in the blanks.
Sorry.
That man, he was preaching, man.
Yeah, he definitely.
I heard him. He was preaching.
That man was preaching.
No, basically.
You know how sometimes you say something so good you forgot what you said. And you can't
Well, listen, I think Eric is going to come back tenfold. So go ahead, E.
What did I say? Go ahead.
No, I just started the whole point. I'm saying, like, as far as if you're somebody who just watches games, like you watch Twitch, you watch people play, you sit next to somebody playing, which is nothing wrong with that. You're an enthusiast. You're not really a gamer. And like I said, I explained, I used to skateboard, and then I don't skateboard anymore, but I still watch a lot of skateboard video, a lot of stuff like that, because I'm into it. But I don't say I'm a skateboarder anymore. I'm an enthusiast of the sport. I'm an enthusiast of what the thing is. So it's the same thing with gaming. Like if you're not actually playing anything, you're an enthusiast. So just sit and be an enthusiast, but don't jump into the timeline and weigh in and accuse people of things and have like this huge opinion about, you know, the hobby itself. And then I said also in this, like Persona said, there's too many inroads into people in the Twitter space where they can pretend to be like a gamer or whatever, and then they're defended usually because they prefer the same platform or whatever the case may be, but they don't have any, you can't see anything that they're doing to say that they are a gamer. Like they don't share gameplay. They don't post screenshots. You know, they lock their profile down. And I'm not talking about, again, people are private, but if you're going to do that, you can at least share gameplay. But they never talk about games they're looking forward to. They never talk about, you know, what's on the horizon, what they're interested in. They'll talk about the acquisition, but never what the acquisition from those companies mean game-wise.
Right.
You know?
That boy good.
No,
boy's got talent.
And again, but I said, but my other point was, and these are the same people when it comes to, well, you know, I feel like, you know, if I'm watching, I'm a gamer, and that you go to have a conversation about what they want to play, they get agitated.
Yeah.
And you say, well, can I go look at your profile? No, why you need to look at my profile? Why you need to do that? You know,
years ago I would do that, and now I've this generation started. I've unlocked everything because, you know, in all honesty, dude, I game like crazy. You are more than welcome. First of all, I welcome a lot of people.
There's nothing to hide. Mooch.
No, there's nothing to hide.
If you're not playing, that's
right.
That's all we're. That's all.
I actually welcome. I'll take it a step further. I want people to join my game. I've reached out to a lot of people on Twitter. And I just had a great conversation last weekend with a couple people. They're like, Mooch, you serious? I'm like, yeah, hop on the sticks right now. I'm playing right now. And this is the gameplay you're seeing right now. I know, you know, I already talked to Persona. I gave Persona a little shit for it. Him and Barry are not really feeling it. But I am hooked on this Blood Hunt game. And I'm playing it. Listen, Warzone is a battle royale. This is a battle royale type game. This game is hard, man. I'm telling you, if you if I get 2 or 3 kills in a match, that's like me getting 6 to 8 kills, maybe 10 kills in Warzone, bro.
Yeah,
it's hard.
they added duos to this
jumping
too.
all over the place and all that bullshit, man.
Yo, man, it's all over the place. I'm telling you, but I love it. I ain't lying.
Here's the thing about
I'll say this and I'll pass it on. I want to repeat this again. It's like, you know, getting hooked up on the trophy and the gamer score. That's just an additive to what it is. That doesn't equate, because there's a lot of people who pad. You know, gamer score, do whatever. That's not what it is. But if someone says,
playing Barbie,
in the social realm of gaming, hey, I just want to check. You're saying all this stuff. I just want to see what you're up to, and you want to lock it down. That says everything a person needs to know. It's like you're scared to show it because you're talking all this nonsense, but you're not really doing it.
Well, see, to kind of add on to what Eric is saying as well with the whole, because this is a question that I brought up a couple months ago in Mooch and BRAP. I know y'all remember this whole fallout where I asked the question on the timeline of, are you verifiable, right? When it comes to gaming. And, you know, a lot of people equated that to, oh, well, you know, I got a wife and kids. I can't play as much games. You know? And I'm just like, bro, slow it. You know, like when you start asking those heavy hitting questions like that, people start to make excuses, right? It's like, listen, you know, the question of are you verifiable does not mean that you need to have 200 platinums and 10,000 trophies and all this crazy. That's not what it means. It's just like, you know, if we're having a conversation about, say, God of War, right, 2018, and you know, someone says, oh man, you know, it was crazy to go to hell with Kratos and Atreus and fight Hela. What you talking about? What you talking about, brother? Can I see your game tag real quick? You know, that's when something like that would be asked, is when people say shady things about games that you have a lot of experience in, and you know from what they're saying, you don't know what you're talking about. Let's verify. But not only that, I think the thing that people need to understand as we all congregate within this space, this is the internet. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, another thing that I say is, you know, gatekeep your gaming circles. And when I say gatekeep your gaming circles, that is not me saying gatekeep gaming. Because for one, you cannot gatekeep gaming, right? Gaming is, you know, like, you know, if I don't know anybody here from, you know, in real life. So like, I can't say, oh, Mooch, you can't play games for the rest of your life. Who are you? You know, like, who the fuck you? You understand? Like, no one can stop you.
You can't come back. You can't come back.
Exactly. You can't come back. It's like, who the fuck are you to tell me I can't turn on my PS5 or my Xbox or whatever and play a game? Get the fuck out. Like, no one can physically do that. The problem is that social media has consumed so much of our lives, is that a lot of people allow these people on the internet to have that type of power over them mentally, psychologically, to where they think if they're not allowed to speak in a specific space on the internet, that means that they are not allowed to be a gamer or play games or whatever the case may be. And that's not the case. But when it comes to congregating and speaking with people on the internet, especially if you're going to have conversations and have these people around you, you want to make sure that the people that you have around you are people that are actually gaming, people that are actually gamers. Because one, you don't want to waste your time. And two, there's a lot of frauds and posers out here, man. It's like, yo, listen, I don't have time for that bullshit. If you're going to lie about something as simple as what games you're playing or have ever played, what else are you lying about? Why would I waste my time getting to know someone like that, right? I'm not afraid to say what games I have played, haven't played, or started and never finished because I got bored or got sidetracked or whatever. That's all a part of gaming too, right? No one's going to look at you and think any less of you if you're upfront about that. But in this community, people are looking to be accepted, looking for brownie points, looking to grow and get this, be like Lord of the Nerds type of thing where they want to be, they want to be the king nerd and talk and, speak for the people and all this bullshit. And I'm just like, listen, man, I don't know where y'all, how y'all upbringings were, but get the fuck out of here with that, man.
Come on, man.
You know what, Persona? You real quick. I'm sorry, Jez. You real quick. What's up, Jez? By the way.
Yo, what's up, man?
I do think there's one company that's kind of promoting that sense of you don't have to be a gamer per se, or you don't have to play games to be a gamer. Like E said, gaming is an interactive medium, right? It's interactive entertainment, which means you have to interact with it to experience it. So watching it is not interacting with it. And you do have one company that's saying, no, you don't have to interact with gaming in the traditional sense to be a gamer. And that's not true. You absolutely have to. And, but I also think that there's one company that's also making it about, hey, if you can get connected to, our corporate executives, we'll retweet your stuff, we'll give you access to content and stuff like that. And I think that is a little, for me at least, and we talk about like blue check marks and stuff. And
well, and shout out to the great Jeff Grubb that's in the chat right now. Let me say, and Jeff, I'll give you a compliment. It's one of the reasons that I really, really respect Jeff. He's always very clear when he says, I've heard this is what's going on. A lot of people are always quoting Jeff and misquoting him. But the one thing that Jeff does all the time, and he's seen me in the chat, he Twitch streams, and this guy games. Okay, he games. And Jeff, I know that Jeff, you may come to some of others' defense, and that's fine. That's fine because a lot of people in the industry. But you do what a lot of the others may not do in the industry, and that is you play video games. So shout out to Jeff. Go ahead.
Sad thing is,
but I do feel like there's a lot of people that are trying to enter into the conversation because they want to be part of something, right? As opposed to wanting to game.
I can understand that.
It's just like that scene from that movie when everybody's like, "Yo, you've been with a girl?" It's like, "Yeah, I've been with this girl. I did this." So she's like, "Oh yeah, this. Wow, tell me your experience." And then they come to the other guy and he goes,
"It's like 40-year-old virgin."
Girl? Yeah, me so horny, me so. Oh my god, tell us more details. Tell us how she feels. Oh, she was me so horny, me so horny. It's like, no, tell me more. What? So how they feel? They felt like bags of sand.
Bags of sand.
Bags of sand.
Oh my god!
Have you ever been with
exactly
a woman?
What it is, Jez.
Have you been with bags of sand? He's a virgin.
But Jez, you have a company. But you have a company that's encouraging the bags of sand. Is my point,
dude? It's a bag of sand. Don't worry. And I'm going to tell you the other issue that I have. It's not. If they want to define themselves as a gamer for like walking into a GameStop and walking out and they go, "I'm a gamer," they could do that. But just don't go on the internet and tell other people how they should react to other news and to the stuff. Like, that's where this stuff came in, because people were upset and the narrative was going like, what's going on with management over at Xbox? And then here they come, the friggin' internet police and the Microsoft PR people coming in. Oh, it's fine. Don't worry about Halo. It's fine. It's going to get a year delay.
Halo's not fine.
Yeah. Don't worry. Oh, you try to do his job. Don't tell people how they should feel. And then when we find out that you are not that, like, you're not in it, like you're not invested in it like we are, then you really should not be telling people how they should feel and how they should react. People should react the way they feel. There may be some fake outrage. There may be people that genuinely upset, but do not tell people how they should feel. If it doesn't bother you, then you just go walk the other way. But don't go on the internet and try to tell other people
you know
how
what?
they should feel.
Brad,
Hold on. Can I answer Jeff Grubb's question?
Yeah,
quick?
please. That's what I was gonna get to. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead and say his question. So I want to answer that because
Jeff
is
Grubb
right,
asked,
but there's two sides to that. Go
he
ahead.
asked the question. He says yes. He goes, but I just don't get caring about this. He goes, why spend your time being an internet narc, meaning like like kind of ratting on other folks. If I'm interpreting,
I mean, I get it. If you don't like, the
too,
situation, don't give no energy to it. I get it. What he's
What's up, bot clown?
I get it 100%. But see, the thing is, like, and I'll use myself for an example. I'm not going around in every gaming conversation on the internet saying, "Oh, wait, let's make sure this is correct. Oh, what's your gamer?" Absolutely not. Because one, I don't got time for that bullshit, and two, I'm trying to play some COD or something. You feel me? Like anybody,
right,
I don't care about that. You feel me? But
Warzone Persona.
The problem is
I
that
lost when he said God.
When you shout out to Big Cloud, man. I appreciate you, bro.
No, it's actually bot cloud. It's bot cloud.
You had me all the way. Then you say God. I'm like, bro, get this shit out of my face. For
my whole thing is when people they put themselves out there. It's and just for the sake of the conversation, this whole Redfall Starfield delay and everyone up in arms and talking about how Game Pass isn't profitable, all those conversations that were happening a week or two ago, right? And this person put themselves out there and tried to discredit people's feelings about what was happening and trying to say, well, do you know how to do this? Do you know how to do that? And that's why that tweet turns into what this is now, right? No one is actively, at least no one in my circle or anyone that I rock with, is actively going out and trying to purposefully make people's gaming experiences on the internet bad, right? I wouldn't want to do that. I think that's fucked up, right? Because again, gaming, bad. Yeah, that's some real loser shit, man. Like, gaming is meant to be inclusive and meant to be for everybody, everyone, right? And I stand by that 100%. Games, right? Yeah, exactly, Jess. Everyone who plays games. But when it comes to inserting yourselves into, and this is what happens on the internet too much, where people that are very passionate about gaming or passionate about things that are happening within gaming industry and things like that, when you speak out against something like that, people tend to try to minimize how you feel by saying, what's the magic word?
It's not that big a deal.
It's not that big a deal. Right. Get over it, right? And it's like, well, no, it's a big deal to this community of people because this is how they view gaming. This is how important gaming is to them. So to try to minimize that, and then when you get checked, you want to run behind, oh, well, you being gatekeeping and all. Stop it. Cut it out. Yeah. Feel me? But no one is going around being I agree with Grubb. Wasting time trying to be a narc and try to police the internet. Yeah. I don't got time for that shit. You understand?
Yeah, you can't.
I mean, it goes deeper than that, though. Like, that's how, like, Persona. When you stream a game, like, for example, let's say Horizon, you'll have those dudes in the chat that will watch you play it from start to finish, and then for a fact they didn't play the game; they just watched you play it. But then they'll go to Twitter and say the game was easy, or the game was hard, or the game was fire, 10 out of 10. That's the type of shit I'm talking about. Like, it's the same thing.
By
the way, shout out to the great Bit Cloud for joining us. Bit, thanks for being here.
No, it's not Bit Cloud; it's Bot Cloud. I just want to comment on something real quick because
your mouth.
No, you're a back cloud. You're a back cloud. No, but like it was something that really kind of turned me off a little bit. Was like Danny Pena, who's Gamertag Radio, was like, oh, I've been on Xbox for 20 years. And I'm paraphrasing what he said, but he says something to the effect like, it's not that big of a deal. The Xbox is the best position it's ever been. I'm like, dude, first of all, Danny Pena, like I was there day one on the OG Xbox. I was actually an Xbox like beta tester. For those who didn't know.
Oh god!
You guys know that?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Every week goes by. I hear this. Back in my day, gaming cost a nickel when I was a gaming ambassador. Back in my day, Game Pass was 25 cents.
So no, I
was Game Pass.
But it was. But the fact that that he's suggesting that people can't, say that, hey, the state of Xbox or whatever isn't where I want it to be. I found it very disingenuous, and then it goes back to this thing with the check boxes and the influencers, and I don't trust Xbox influencers because I feel like Microsoft's really doubled down on the influencers per se. It's like, dude, like, wait a minute, like, why would you say that? Like, I am someone that's in your shoes, 20 years on the platform, Xbox Live beta tester. I feel differently than you. To say otherwise is very disingenuous. Like, like there's people that have constructive criticism, outside of the, oh, that game's trash or whatever argument that we see often. There's people like me that have valid criticisms and have provided constructive criticism about Microsoft, and to try to like dismiss that because, you know, I don't know, because you have a, you know, you're an influencer or you have a checkbox or whatever the case is, that's not cool. And that needs to stop. I think we can acknowledge that not every consumer is going to be okay with whatever the platforms are offering. Yeah. So long as they're offering constructive criticism. There's one thing to be like, hey, you know what, this thing is trash, and not offer any, you know, reason why you think that thing is trash, as opposed to, you know what, I think Microsoft's missing the mark because they haven't released, you know, a first party banger, you know, potentially year 3 into a new console generation, which has never happened for that platform. That's a fair conversation to have, and to dismiss that is disingenuous.
Okay, can I jump in?
Go ahead, Hustle. By the way, let me just tell the audience. I just want the audience to know real quick that I see the super chats, and Gamer, just Game Over HD. I will get to yours at the end of this segment because we jumped over the Kojima topic already. We already discussed it, but I will go back to it. I will read everyone's. Go ahead, Hustle. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah. There's a lot to unpack here. I guess I'll go back to the very beginning of it. Yo, a gamer is somebody who plays games. Just point blank, period. Dog, I'm not no gourmet chef because I like to watch a lot of cooking shows. Yeah, whatever. I don't give a damn.
I mean, I guess we're all surgeons because we all watched ER at one point in our lives.
Yeah, I mean, so that whole thing is it is what it is.
I watched porn the other day.
Oh, damn. Porn star. So I guess you're a porn star.
Sir,
his name is B-Rod.
Y'all got it. What I'm saying is,
B-Rod.
What the hell?
Jez, really? B-Rod?
Broad. Welcome to the Broad podcast.
Broad. Welcome to the Broad. Okay. Let's listen to what Hustle wants to say.
Yeah, let's let Hustle finish.
Cheeks might come over.
What in the world are we doing?
Hey, yo, chill. He said Cheeks.
Yo, that went left, Hustle. I apologize.
Yeah, that went left really big time. I'm not.
So hit the like button. You Cheeks clap.
I'm not Broad.
Yeah, I can tell y'all having too much fun in here. But here's what I'll say: the trophy score thing. I hit myself twice.
Yeah, I heard you twice too. But go ahead, Hustle.
The trophy score thing, like that's like a moot point. That don't really matter because like over the last month, I've been playing like NBA Streets Volume 2. I've been playing the Sonic Collection. So I'm trying to work on some videos. So I've been playing on the actual OG Xbox. So the trophy score thing don't matter. A game is just somebody who plays games. You ain't got a lot to kick it. Like it's all good. And really, I don't know. The whole topic is surrounding one person who I'm not going to mention because I don't want to feel like I'm attacking them or anything. But yo, sometimes it's cool to stay out of whatever conversation you got to stay out of. You don't got to jump into every little thing that be going on, dog. Like it's okay if you don't play this game. It's okay not to comment on it. The biggest issue that I really have with this, and I don't think anybody mentioned it, was like Perfect Dark, for instance, game on Xbox, right? One of my favorite franchises as a kid. If somebody who's never played that game before, and not even forget beating it, because I beat that game, but if you ain't never played or beat that game, and you trying to be on Twitter and you got the checkmark gang, shout out to them. If you got them behind and you pushing whatever narrative that you want to like change fundamentally with that game, that will fundamentally change something that you've never experienced before. So how can you speak on it? And let's be real, people are only really talking like that because this thing got traction, and you know, as we should, right? A lot of people say, well, I don't like dogpiling on Twitter. Like, and listen, I don't like the constant dogpiling on Twitter. Like if you say something. Like if I say something crazy today, everybody on the panel, everybody in the chat supposed to be on my neck about that, right?
Right.
It's just the whole back to back videos, and if that's like a thing, like that I get, and that's harassment. Like yo, don't do that. But like you can't say that you are a part of something, a part of whatever community that you're a part of. You say something crazy like that, and it's like what do you expect? I guess what do you expect? I'm not saying I expect this person to be harassed. I'm saying like, look, if you don't get nothing like that, that's okay. But also, you don't got to defend like nobody. Like you don't have to defend anybody. Jay Barry don't got to defend Persona, right? I don't got to defend nobody on the panel. Like y'all understand what I'm saying? Like I don't got to defend Blaze. We straight. Everybody, we grown.
Defending. Phil
like
not need defending.
Facts. Like he don't.
He got promoted twice.
He probably listen. Phil probably saw that and was like, I don't give a fuck what they talking about. No way, just buy the game. Like they don't.
CEO, bitch.
Yeah,
He's winning awards.
Phil Spencer is riding in a car from Forza. He's riding in the Porsche from Forza. I'm sure. Like he's straight. He got bread.
So he got the McLaren. He's like, I'm
He
good.
drives that
Uzi
car
and
right off.
Flav, Mignon, Uzi and Ramen, they think Phil needs protection. Like,
Well, I'll say this before I wrap everything up to the person who was in question too, if they see it. I know because we all know who I'm talking about. Hey, if you want to play Gears 5, man, just run some Gears 5, Hustle and Motivate on Steam. Just run some games. Even if you can only do that's hey, hold on, big player. Hold up.
I ain't saying nothing already. I ain't saying nothing.
All right.
It's bad enough I gotta hear Erica. Now I gotta hear
All right. Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that to you. I ain't going to do that to you. But no. It's even if you like, look, I think all of us, for the most part, they got wives, families, full-time jobs, what have you. Look, nobody's asking you to game like 50 hours a week, dog. Like, can't nobody like just certain things aren't expected. But what is expected is just for you to get whatever. Like we do this. I do this shit to relieve a lot of stress. So sometimes I might be feeling in the mode where I'm like, I just want to cut something off.
I couldn't do shit. My hands were like legit tied. I couldn't do shit until recently.
Yeah,
that's because you're bot cloud.
Yeah, I guess so. I was tied to every goddamn thing.
And that's the thing. But son, you was working though. Like that's the other thing. Like it be like that. Like if you work like that and you work super hard, cool. If you can get it in, you can. But if you can't, you can't. Yeah. But don't. Hey, look, man. I don't think I'm guilty of that. Like, I don't really get to defending no like $1 billion companies. It's just more about I guess I would have wanted to say this is more about influence. Somebody who don't get it in like that, I ain't gonna say they verified or whatever. I think Persona said it earlier, but I won't say that. I'll just say that if you don't play like a particular game, like I don't like mess around with like COD. I'm not gonna hop on Twitter and talk about the fundamental changes that we made to COD. That joint get 100,000 impressions or 1 million impressions, 100,000 likes, 50,000 retweets, and then motherfuckers at Call of Duty or Activision or whoever looking at me like, oh, maybe we should follow what this guy's saying. We don't know if he plays the game in that, but let's see if we can. And I could really fuck some shit up if I wanted to. Like, that's just more about the influence thing. But y'all want to play the game, hustle and motivate. Let's go nuts. Let's have fun. That's it.
I like the way you put all that.
Hey, Hustle. Hey, big Hustle. We gotta get together.
Let me get a couple of these super chats.
We gotta get together, man.
The audience is going to definitely get rowdy if I don't get these. Shout out to the great Pope, by the way. The Pope art is here. The show's been blessed. Pope, it's way past your bedtime, by the way, Pope. I don't know what you're doing up, but I'm glad you're here. The great Marty Bison, the Marty ambassador.
It's like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning.
It's like it's about 1 o'clock out there, right? Maybe 2. Yeah. Marty Bison says, I'm an ambassador. I support this podcast. Marty, thank you so much. TrueWiddy family member here. He says, I watch cooking shows. Am I a chef? I practice on TV. Shout out to TrueWiddy. Magnum Visual says, Microsoft may be holding on to saturate 2023 instead of releasing these games sparingly where people subscribe and unsubscribe in between their game releases. So Magnum, we didn't really kind of dabble too much into that. We will get a little bit into that, but thank you. I appreciate that. Face comes in here. Shout out to Face 23. Mooch, thoughts on the PS Plus relaunch next month and the games and news they announced? Also, do you think God of War Ragnarok will come out this year? So Face, listen, actually great segue. I'm going to go right into those two subjects next. C-Mad says, gamer doesn't have a definition. We consume games differently. Is a person who plays 1-2 games but follows the game industry daily not a gamer? No. And see, man, I got to say, I think Persona said it best. He said you could play Warzone only, exclusively, and still be a gamer. It's not necessarily
just playing the game.
Too many people are putting too many other caveats and trying to pivot.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
It's one thing and one thing only. Right. What did well, this is remember the song N-Words in Paris?
Yeah.
It's one song and one song only. It's one thing, playing games. That's it. It all this other stuff is just it's unnecessary.
It's icing on the cake, basically.
Yeah, it's extra. Listen, you play games, you play Fortnite, you play COD, you play Madden, NBA, and FIFA every fucking year. Yep. You're a gamer.
Nobody's saying you have to play everything.
Yeah, you don't need to play everything. You don't need, you don't need to know shit about Final Fantasy or Kingdom Hearts or none of that other shit. You play your games that you enjoy and you play them. You're a gamer.
You're a gamer.
But here's the thing, and this is where people get things misconstrued. there's levels to this. So if you're in a Twitter space or on a podcast or having or around people who are having a conversation about Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, or you know, Resident Evil or something like that, and you try to jump in and you don't know what you're talking about,
right?
No, you understand? That's when
you're trying to educate them, saying, "Oh, you're wrong for this." That's where we go into a different category. Where it's like,
that's where it gets to the levels. It's like, you know, you're not going to school me on Final Fantasy.
Exactly.
You're not playing it. So how you? Oh, I think Final Fantasy is bad. Why? Oh, because, you know, it's just I don't like turn-based. It's like, okay, that's fine, fair. But how is Final Fantasy bad? You know what I'm saying? You can say, oh, I don't. It's like, oh, well, it's trash because it's this and that. Have you played the game, sir? No, I've never played none of the games. So what the fuck are you talking? What are you talking about?
What are we having this conversation for?
Yeah, and that's what happens entirely too often in this community, and why people think when you check them or asking are they verifiable, that means you're trying to gatekeep or stop them from enjoying games or whatever case may be. No.
Yeah, I'm getting real tired of that word. I've seen that word thrown around too much on Twitter, gatekeeping. Nobody's saying you can't experience or have a conversation. We're just saying if you want to have this conversation, we expect a certain level of knowledge about the topic. That's it.
Right. That's really it. I think that's a fair request, though. That's a fair request.
Yeah, that's really it. Like, you know, like if I was having a conversation with you guys about, I don't know, wrestling, and none of you guys watch wrestling, but you guys, you know, you play golf or something, you really think I want to have your input?
Bit, yeah, but I said this. Oh, my fault.
Go ahead, Hustle. No, I was just gonna say I want to agree with Bit and Hustle. I'll give you the mic right back. We had shout out to RGT, shout out to Sean. RGT85 was on the show.
There you go.
After we got done with the show, Bit and Sean were having an amazing conversation on everything wrestling, AWE, WWE, everything. You know what I did? I kept my mouth shut because I did not. I told them. I said I don't watch wrestling. I haven't since like the old school days, right? The old like Hulkamania days, like I'm, you know, the prime days. I'm way out of the loop. So I just like that's the thing, Bit. If you don't really know about the subject, it doesn't matter if it's wrestling, gaming, cars.
Right.
I don't.
You don't
care.
have to say nothing. Exactly. You don't have to say nothing if you don't know anything about it.
In that conversation, you would have been like, you know, it's just wrestling. Like wrestling sucks.
Wrestling sucks.
Exactly.
Yeah, and Bit would have been like
emotional about it, and you're just like, who cares? Like, it's fake anyway. It's fake. It doesn't matter. It's just fake. Why are you getting upset about storylines?
Yeah, right, exactly.
And that goes
they do on Twitter.
That goes back to people just wanting to insert themselves into a conversation and adding no true value. That's one of the biggest problems with like social media, and why I actually quit like doing game debates and stuff with people, because no one truly, a lot of the people that you're talking to, they don't really understand or appreciate gaming at the level that you do, or they can't really properly articulate their thoughts and opinions to where it could be a cohesive and proper conversation, or even a back and forth. But even going back to the whole wrestling thing, you know, the car community, the comic book community, you know, all these other communities and hobbies where like camera,
Nikon and
filmmaking and stuff like that.
Canon, yeah,
you wouldn't go to those communities and acting like you know what you're doing, because they're gonna know off rip if you do or don't. The gaming community is the only community, is the only hobby, the only culture where someone that does not play games at all thinks that their thoughts matter. You know, just to be blunt, not to be an asshole, but they think that their word or their opinion matters because this warped definition of what a gamer is. Stop it, man. It doesn't. Like I mean no disrespect, but
Xbox is kind of embracing that. Like it's like whoever you are, 2 billion people, whatever you do, just be be our fan or be part of our community.
Pitch. It's a sales.
It is a sales pitch.
It's just a slow.
It's a Microsoft marketing sales pitch.
Yeah,
I'll say this.
It's sort of it's some of that appearance of access too that I think fuels a lot of things too, because people.
Yes, it does.
You know, they start their channel and it starts to blow up, and they get the access, and then they get their fan bases that want to do all the defending, and Persona's 100% right. The Twitter in particular, not the gaming community at large, because there's a gaming community at large that has no idea what's going on Twitter. They just doing their thing, right? The Twitter gaming community in particular is really strange, and I was talking to BRAP about this because it's the only place where racism, misogyny, creeping in DMs, rape, all this crazy stuff will be protected. But what won't be protected is when you decide that you're not going to cap for the platform anymore.
Facts.
You gotta go.
Facts.
Yep.
They'll get you the hell up out of here.
Facts.
And Big Cloud, there's your gatekeeper.
Facts. Yeah.
That's the gatekeeping.
Facts.
You can't come back, dog. You out of
It's
here.
all you can't. You don't pledge your allegiance to this. Okay, get the fuck out of this. Then
Well,
you can't talk about it. You can't be a part of the conversation. You can't be.
Well, you respectfully disagree.
Yep.
Block
People that say weird, wild stuff.
Yep.
It's just like, but the minute you like. Props to the other platform. Oh no, you can't. No, you gotta go, dog.
Yeah, it's like not every. This is why I laugh at the shit too. When you just said too, I agree with you like completely. Like not every fucking week's gonna be doom and gloom. I don't know why people have this mindset like, oh, Microsoft's not gonna have a good week or a good announcement that's gonna happen. That's why when you show support to that, all of a sudden you're a traitor, or all of a sudden you're a flip flop. It's like, how the fuck am I a flip flop for giving props to the other side for them doing something that I wanted to do for a long time ago, whether it be competing or actually improving.
Right.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
And
when they
there
improve, when they compete, guess who fucking wins? We all win. Because guess what? Sony takes notes and steps their shit up. You want an example of that? Look at this Activision deal. What does Sony do? Finally, you're getting updates on something that Sony's been needing for the longest fucking time, and that's multiplayer games in the PlayStation studios.
Right. 100%.
How long have we been
100%
waiting for fucking updates and fucking news for Sony to step up and give you proper multiplayer games that have an actual infrastructure in play that you'll actually be playing on it longer than a few months?
Yeah.
And
now you're getting that.
And that's I think we're going to see a strong push on that. Hustle, go ahead.
Absolutely.
Yeah, real quick. Persona, earlier you said something about people just want to incorporate themselves in the conversation. There's a way that you can do that. Like, even when I'm on different podcasts, let's say I don't know what the fuck going on. If I don't know what's going on, I just typically will ask a question. But I think where a lot of people fail with a lot of things that they do is that a lot of people want to be elitists and they want to be know-it-alls. And motherfuckers ain't never got it in like that, and you can tell, and they be quick to expose themselves. It's okay to ask questions. And if we really want to talk about inclusivity in this community, shut up, Hustle. You can't say that.
Well,
I'm not gonna say that. I can't say that here. I can't say that here.
Nah, I know. I hear what you're saying, Hustle. I think it's one of those things where, with the age of social media, a lot of things are taken at face value. So oftentimes, misinformation breeds stupidity. And what happens is even, because I do agree, if someone doesn't know something about a game or about a genre, absolutely ask questions to someone that's knowledgeable. What happens is that there are a lot of people who, instead of asking those questions to truly understand something, they take other people's thoughts and opinions and try to push them as their own. As some form of like they know what they're talking about. Like, oh, well, I read here that this game was bad. Play it. Did you actually, what are you talking about? Like, did you know about this mechanic, about this and that? Oh, well, I didn't play the game myself. So why are you here?
Take it further. His face is going off, going crazy. Like, wait a minute, did you play? No. Or you say, did you play? Can I check your profile?
No.
Block.
Block.
Exactly. And it's like that's what happens.
I had the patience for that. Y'all do these Twitch spaces.
It's like you asked for a blood type. Yeah, I don't get that. That I don't understand at all.
And that's what happens. They're not actually trying to ask questions to understand. They're pushing opinions of what they see other people say that don't really know too well either, and it's all just coming from a place of ignorance, right? And it's like,
I feel that.
Like, come on, bro. Like, where are we at? Where you're this ignorant, you're just closed-minded. It's ridiculous.
Now, I got a couple of super chats here, guys, and shout out. But again, I want to say, Game Over HD. I'm going to read your super chat. I did not forget you. It's just that's a previous topic. TrueWiddy says yes, but allowing someone with influence who doesn't play games can ruin the community, especially if developers listen to non-gamers than gamers' cause of power.
Who said that? Who said that, Mooch?
TrueWiddy. Shout out to TrueWiddy, Mooch Maniac family member.
I said that true. Shout out TrueWiddy. I said that too, boy. Man, look. All right, y'all got it. Appreciate it.
Slope, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Yep. And so I want to do this. I'm going to read Game Over's super chat, and then I want to switch over real quick because this is something that's kind of a big deal too. And I have another we'll get to what Face 23 was asking as well. Game Over says, well, I heard that Kojima is working on an upcoming Xbox exclusive. Since the upcoming new IPs have been canceled, can we see Kojima working on another game? I don't know. Now, I did see the great Jeff Grubb was going back and forth with some people in the chat. Jeff is still standing behind that Kojima is still working on the, I don't want to say what it, I'm not sure. I don't know what it is. Is it a cloud-based game, Jeff? I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's only cloud or it's only going to be xCloud. I'm not really sure. But I believe, Game Over, that's what Kojima's working on. Guys, anybody on the panel have anything to add to this? He's asking about Kojima. Is Kojima still working on an Xbox exclusive, knowing what we know now about Death Stranding 2?
I'm pretty sure he's still contracted whatever that he was working on. That's still happening. We just don't know any more details on it because he's quiet on it. So we'll see.
Not only that, but development studios can work on more than one project. Hello, Platinum. That's.
But really, who's looking forward to a cloud game? Like a cloud-only game.
I mean, he
on a
kind of showed the network thing. Yeah, he showed his reach with Death Stranding with the whole social network thing, so he could make it work.
Yeah, but this is a game on cloud, right? That's what this is, a cloud project, which might be an xCloud exclusive or something along those lines. So I don't know, man. Who knows? This cloud thing, all I think is Crackdown 3 and that cloud.
Right. Yeah. That cloud. That's really set. That's really such as so Jeff does answer cloud-based experimental game, and it's still super early. Yeah. Not just that, but there's also rumor that Kojima's working on a PSVR 2 game. So we'll see what's going.
We'll see what that is.
We'll see what's going on there. Shout out to the great Jay Bar who stopped by on the other side of What's Up PlayStation Saturday mornings, 11 a.m. He says, "Who's yelling and asking questions? Persona." So shout out to Jay Burry, best lisp on YouTube, as he likes to always say, the man himself. Man. So shout out to the great Jay Barry. Appreciate Jay stopping by. So let me ask this question, because Face23, I'll ask your question again. Face basically said here, he says, Mooch, thoughts on PS Plus relaunching next month and the games? I don't have necessarily as one of the topics for you guys. I'll start with the great Persona here. Persona, what is it you take? I kind of got into the trophies. I was excited because I am, as it currently stands, just going to stay with the PS Plus Essentials, which is the basic one. I may go as I see more games that come out. But, we were talking about this before the show and on the show a bit. I'm starting to get really into the collection of trophies. So to play an older game and get rewarded for it, man, it's kind of a two-banger. So, Face asked the question, what do you think about this? The trophies, and what did you think when you saw the new update we got earlier this week? I believe it was earlier this week or late last week. It was earlier this week. Yeah, I was impressed. What'd you think?
You want my honest opinion, Mooch?
I do. That's all I ever asked from you, Persona.
All right, I'm gonna give you my honest to hard opinion, okay?
It looks like DLC.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, go there. I didn't know Jaffe was on this show.
No, but on a serious note, right? Listen, and this is why, sometimes I have like this weird love-hate relationship with PlayStation sometimes when it comes to when they put news out and how they do it. Because sometimes I wish that they would be a bit more forthcoming with new things that they have coming to the coming like this a little bit quicker or have it more consolidated. Because had they had all of this when they first announced the new PS Plus stuff, all that fake articles, fake outrage, and oh my God, where's the day and day? All this crazy shit that people love to fucking do, right? All of that would have been quelled, and we wouldn't even have to deal with and see all that crap, right? But nonetheless, when PlayStation is brewing and takes their time, and this is why I say PS Plus is going to be, I think, a big deal, especially now that they confirmed that. Well, at least let me say this. Siphon Filter, Sony Ben confirmed that Siphon Filter will have trophies, but I think it's safe to assume that
everything,
either everything, because last year a patent did go. Sony did do a patent for a system that would allow you to implement trophies into old games without having to do much, right? So if this is something that they kind of sent to their studios, they probably sent to their partners and say, hey, look. We know you don't want to spend too much time on this, but we got this new type of system where you'll be able to implement trophies. Do this for us, and trust me, you'll see the green, right? So I think it's safe to say that a large number of the games that are coming will have trophy support, which, in my opinion, and listen, I know people love the day and date, and I don't want to make this into a Game Pass thing because we'll be here all night. But I think this is as big as a day and date type of thing because it gives validity to going back to those old games, right? So you got new players that are coming into gaming who've never played these games, that are now be able to experience these and get trophies. But then you got the nostalgic folks that are like, wait, I can go back to Siphon Filter, I can go back to this game or that game, Wild Arms or whatever, and get trophies and get a platinum. Sign me.
That's
the
what
fuck
I'm
up.
saying, Persona.
You know
All of
what
a
I'm
sudden,
saying?
someone
That
like
is
me
big.
who was not necessarily going to pull the trigger on this, now my ears are perked. Now I'm listening.
Exactly.
All they gotta do is get
This
PS3 titles,
big.
and that's it.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
The
the-
last thing that we need to
That's
do
it.
is be able to play PS3 titles, either streaming
Natively.
or on your
Yeah.
or natively, and it's
done.
It's fire. But with all of what they got now with the game trials and the trophies and all this, this service is shake. That surprised me. I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, I didn't think they were gonna implement all of that like this, like all at once. I'm excited to try it out and check it out, man. And if everything's got trophies, I'm definitely there day one. I've already got the highest tier anyway because I got PS Now and PS Plus. So I'm really excited. This is big for PlayStation, and I even seeing people on Twitter, kind of like, what? Wait, there's trophies? Maybe I will buy the premium tier. PlayStation sitting there rubbing their hands like, yo, dumb ass was gonna die that premium tier anyway. You feel me? So I can't wait.
I'm locked into it. I got that premium tier because I had PS Now, so I'm in it for till next year. So I'm gonna get the premium tier because I get those $40 Amazon ones when they do the sale on PS Plus and PS Now. So I'm telling you, that is really awesome. Like I wanted to see more of the classic games because I haven't really played that much of old PlayStation stuff, and seeing some of those things, like I played Siphon Filter on the PSP, but I don't think I ever played it on the PS1. So I'm really interested in what the classic games were, and I just think that this service, like what they've been doing, and even though I say don't go full Ubisoft, the fact that they're throwing all those Ubisoft games in there, it just shows that they are working with third parties as well to get them in the service to be more competitive. And actually the thing is that a lot of this stuff has already been there. If you go to PS Now, not the Ubisoft games, but if you go to PS Now and see what they've been doing with PS Plus and the games they've been given, like they sort of been building up to this, and this is just more of just a merger of their two services, which is going to give them more leverage, and I think put more pressure on Game Pass to kind of get their first party together, because I think those third party things, they could kind of match it with this service. But I think this classic stuff and backwards compatibility that now they're starting to implement, I think that, they got tons of games, man. And what's great is that this is supplemental. This is just an alternative to the main, course that we're going to be getting with other games. So this is just them leveraging their older games and leveraging, maybe the AA games and indies and things like that, but also putting the remaster stuff on these, adding trophies to these games. Because that was the one thing that I know what Xbox did with the OG Xbox, is that the servers didn't work and it was just play the game again. And there was no kind of incentive. They didn't have achievements back then. And people were asking for it back then with backwards compatibility. And if Sony's going to start doing this with some of their classic games, that's doing it the right way, because that will have people go back and do the trophy hunting. I'm not a huge trophy hunter myself, but I like that they're actually taking the older games and trying to bring them more modern, because sometimes what you remember, that nostalgia is a hell of a drug, but when you go back, right, Mooch? When you go back and you play it, you're like, oof, okay, that works. Thank you very much. I'm out of here. But if you're getting trophies popping up and you could, share play it or things like that, another feature that, is awesome, like share play or something like that didn't have online, but you could pretend you're doing couch co-op with share play on a PS1 game.
You got to understand that the trophies and achievements being reobtainable is a big deal. Like remasters come out, remakes come out, and some people want to genuinely play the game. Me and Persona were talking about this earlier as well. Sometimes you want to actually just play the game again to get the trophies. Sometimes it's for the love of the game. Sometimes it's for the love of that achievement or that trophy hunt. So you can't say that doesn't lure people back in. It's kind of like that bait that gets you back in. Absolutely.
Listen, Legend of Dragoon with trophies, I'm there.
See?
I want to see if
right
this stuff
there
works.
It is.
Give me Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots. Trophies.
Oh, damn.
Look at that. Bits back. Done. You know what I mean? I mean, BRAP, I think you were kind of 50-50 on all this. Are you going to go to the top tier now that you see this coming back with trophies? I'm not sure if we got BRAP back or not.
Or hell, give me the Resistance franchise.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot.
That's the one thing though they
Yeah,
didn't
because
announce was PS2 games
2.
yet.
Yeah,
And,
so a lot of
PS2
Resistance 1 and
games
2
in there.
don't have a lot of PS3 games that don't got trophies either. Resistance
Yes,
1,
early
2,
on, yeah.
Well, I want y'all to correct me. I want y'all to correct me if I'm wrong, but I know Grand Theft Auto San Andreas because I bought it on a PS4, PS2 game. That game had trophies in it, so that's probably why they didn't mention it.
They
so
did bring, did bring PS2 games to the PS4 and added trophies and updated them to 1080p. And they actually have them in PS now. But yeah, some of them they did.
Real quick too, man. Also, keep in mind these games are also going to be getting frame rate and resolution bumps.
Yeah.
As well, and getting save states and
rewind,
game rewind.
Mm-hmm.
So these games are getting touched up. So you couple the better frames, the not as jaggy, and you couple the trophies and everything. I'm telling you,
you properly upscale them, whole 9 yards.
And it's like, yo, listen, I get it, man. The day and day thing, it's magical when it's the games that you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one ever prefaces that. They just say day and date and think, oh yeah, it's perfect. And it's like, but it's day and date of games that you want. Anyway, this is huge, man. Like, I really do think this is going to really pull in a lot of people, more than what people think, man. Especially with that nostalgia, it's a hell of a drug. Proper frame rate and all that stuff. It's huge, man. This is big.
Yeah, look how big backwards compatibility was for Xbox, but they kind of rode that wave out, and now PlayStation has decades of games that they could start bringing back into a service, and they see what Nintendo's doing. Man, Nintendo's taking their damn time putting out their best games on Super NES and N64, and this is another way. And that's why I thought they took a page out of Nintendo's book to say, "Yo, we have decades of IP and games. Let's start putting them into a service and use nostalgia and use retro gaming and things like that, but bring them to a modern age." And Microsoft kind of did it already, which was great, but they kind of used that to pacify their dire Xbox One generation, and now they're here and they're between a rock and a hard place. They have new stuff that's way off or wherever it is. They use their backwards compatibility leverage, and they're in black hole right now. And now Sony's just getting started with this stuff.
This is gonna be a cool way too for them to bring back OG classics. And Jim Ryan said they were bringing back new and existing franchise, so they can use this to get data on what games people actually want to play.
That's what I thought they would do with Xbox.
Yeah, that's why it's smart too.
That is what I'm thinking, bro. Yo, that data is really going to push to be like, all right, you know what? Let's do the remake for that.
Wait, people talk. Bick, could you say it again? What was it that Jim Ryan was alluding to?
So now Jim Ryan said that they were bringing back new and existing franchises. If you want them, but the thing is, the question was what franchise? You know what I mean? It's always been what game could it possibly be? Now that you have the service and everything working in your advantage, right? And you're bringing back these games, you're upscaling them, you're giving back trophy support, you're going back in the the nostalgia pool of games you have, and there's so many games. That's the benefit that Sony has over Microsoft, is that they have the legacy. So Microsoft doesn't have the legacy, the big legacy.
I just want to say,
but the thing about this, when you go into that group, right? You go into that little that conversation, Mooch. The best thing about this is the data that you'll get from this. They'll get from the consumers of what's actually being played, what's actually being sought after. So, for example, again, you see Insomniac tweeting about Resistance. They can really check and see if Resistance is really that missed. And if it really is, then guess what? Boom, they can bring Resistance back.
Well,
they can bring back the 1, 2, and 3.
SOCOM is not even it's not even like you know what I mean? It's not even, it wouldn't even be a surprise. That's definitely one. That is definitely going to happen. As soon as if you see Siphon Filter and you see trophy support, Siphon Filter is going to get immediately, people are going to jump into that.
But do you think Bend is making Siphon Filter like a new one, and that's why they put Siphon Filter in the
game? I think Guerrilla Games.
They might be gauging.
Maybe. Or maybe that's what they're working on.
Or they might do like a remake or something like that, but they want to see where the hype is. But my question is, and I know y'all gonna answer this truthfully, but I'm just saying this for the folks in the chat, so they're like, oh, are they really answering? Do you think Microsoft needs to respond with
did already, dude?
I mean, they can already in a weird way
their BC games and putting achievements and all that stuff like.
Well,
that
yes. I think they already have that with Microsoft. Don't they have that?
They only could do it with their OG Xbox games, because those are the ones that didn't have it. The 360 games all had them. It's the OG Xbox.
OG Xbox does not.
And they only have
currently.
20 of them. They only did 20 or so of them, and their online doesn't work for those.
Yeah, good point.
The servers are down, so they'll have to remaster them and bring them back. A lot of their OG, and they kind of said last year that they're done with the boosting frames, and they were putting their backwards compatibility, everything on hold. So They said it last year.
Well, I didn't know they were putting the boosting on hold. I thought just back
Both of them.
compat.
No,
Okay.
both. No, it was in the same article. Boosted.
Okay.
The frame per second boost is done. That's been done since last year. They announced it in November of last year.
Yeah,
and also backwards compatibility done.
Yeah. Hey,
For now.
Mooch, let me answer that question.
Go ahead, Hustle.
As a retro gamer myself, and I'll go over my list of games that I've really got holding in front of me right now. That's dope that they implementing the trophy support on it. But there's one question there's a question that I have for y'all that everybody kind of missed or nobody brought it up. How about the emulation on these games? Because I don't have PS now, but if y'all have PS now, how are the emulation on these games? Because the reason why I really go back and I got an OG Xbox, Super Nintendo, et cetera, is because you could emulate those games, but they may not run right. Input latency is a real thing. I game on a monitor, and sometimes, like when I was gaming on I'm trying to. I got RetroArch 64. I think it was like Way of the Ninja or something like not Way of the Ninja, but it was. It was some game by Konami, but the input latency wasn't
I can
there.
answer that.
The hottest one right now is
to answer your question, Hustle. So back in 2020, Mark Cerny, when they did the road to PlayStation, that was something that he was speaking on in terms of the graphics, the GPU that they have in the console, and having it getting it to get to the right frequency whenever it's playing a PS4 game or even a PS3 game. So that was something that they mastered with like the smart shift and stuff like that to be able to have the frequency automatically switch to what is best for the game. So for these PS1, PS2, PSP games, the GPU is going to know what's running for that, and it'll set the GPU frequency to what's going to be best so that these games aren't getting bad screen tearing or anything like that. But also, like the article had said this week as well, the games are getting frame rate touch-ups and all that other stuff as well. So a lot of that stuff is going to be optimized.
A little higher.
And if you bought some of these games, that was the other crazy thing. If you bought these games digitally, PS1 or PSP, as they come back, you just download them. Like you just get them. That was a huge.
And you'll be able to buy some of these games from the
and
store
you could buy them outside the service. You don't need to get them in the service.
Good.
You could just buy the game. You don't need to.
Because I'll just say, as an enthusiast for me, like I'm holding in my hand right now the Grand Theft Auto double pack on Xbox. We all saw how that remaster came out for Grand Theft. Well, Big Cloud, you played it and beat it. You know how I get down.
That's 2K.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. So I'm like, sometimes you always go back, but like sometimes I'm really glad that I had what I had in my possession.
A shitty port on there.
That was something, wasn't it? It was just one of those things.
And Vice City's been in PS Now since December, I think. Like since January. They put Vice City in there.
Quality will definitely vary depending on the effort they put into the game itself.
There is one last thing I wanted to mention too. Another reason why I kind of go back to the retro thing is because we had mentioned it with Microsoft. SVC Chaos, which is SNK versus Capcom, which is SNK's take on that. I'm holding the joint in my hand in my hand. It's a 30 frames per second game, which which is BS because it's the fighting game. However, this game ain't backwards compatible. Like you got licensing issues. Like we saw Kn1ght and Mr. Manny Plays on Define and Do. Kn1ght spoke something into existence the way he got bulletproof, 50 Cent bulletproof, like on the backwards compatible list. I don't know. Look, he said it and it just happened. So I don't know how he pulled it off. But my point is this: you got a lot of stuff due to copyright that you'll never get back. If it wasn't for digital eclipse. Yep. Oh yeah. Oh my God. And
that's the reason why Vice City will never be the same if you ever get it done.
They got some mood music in there, but not all of it.
I'll say
look at GTA San Andreas. San Andreas didn't even have the full soundtrack.
Yeah, and I got that too. Play something by Interscope on your YouTube channel right now. See if they're not blocking your stream worldwide.
Yep.
See if they playing. That's what
it
I'm saying.
It don't apply, man. It don't apply no more.
Yeah, ain't nobody playing when it come to that. So when it does come to like the stuff that PlayStation's doing, hey, I'm with it, man. I'm with that competition. It's dope that they, they're upscaling the games, they're adding new chapters because Xbox did that too, and that was dope when they did it. So I'm like, it's good that PlayStation's doing it.
Yeah.
Jim Ryan, I believe it was, he said, don't nobody want to play them old games. Like, I took issue with that. It's like, first of all, like that's your history, that's your heritage, homeboy. Don't do that. Like, you don't know who want to play your old games, and you don't know how many new people want to turn on.
Misspoke on that one. I mean, he's even going back on it. I mean, you clearly see. So let me ask this. So since we're doing this, we've got a bit of time left on the show. I like to call this the speed round. I kind of want to go a little bit faster through some of the topics here because we are talking about it. So The Last of Us is being remade. It's probably the worst kept secret. It's happening, right? And Gears of War also probably getting the Master Chief Collection treatment,
Lord.
right? So two games. So guess what? Bit, if you want to take the microphone, go ahead. But my point being here is, will you be buying it, A? B, do you think this is a game? Are these two games that need to be remade or no?
I mean, okay, so in terms of me buying Last of Us remake, I mean, I can lie to myself and say I won't buy it, but I'm going to buy it just out of pure curiosity because I want to see what exactly they're going to do different in this compared to the original, if that makes sense. So I'm buying it off of pure that by itself. Do we need it? Honestly, no. I would have thought they would put, that time and effort into making the other game, which is called Savage Starlight. That was their game within Last of Us. That was going to be their secret IP. That's what I wanted to see what they were going to make, but they didn't make that. So that's where I'm at with the whole Last of Us thing. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. Really, the big thing I'm going to probably take away from the remake is factions. That's probably the biggest thing to look out for.
So you think the remake is going to encompass the original factions?
I mean, obviously, it's gonna for sure. I'd see that being the case because
I don't know if that's a given.
No,
not the new factions. You mean the old one?
No, I think the new factions. The new factions.
You mean the new one or the old?
The new factions is more likely going to be the old redone with the engine now. With with the Last of Us 2 engine redone, but better maps and better. I can see them redo it at this point.
I'm envisioning. I think a lot of people are, and that's fine. But I respect your opinion. I think
y'all think there's going to be? I mean, look, I don't think we're going to get two. I don't think we're going to get two separate factions in.
I don't know. I thought the Last of Us remake was going to be just a single player game portion, period. And I think that Factions 2, when it comes out, is a full-fledged $60, $70 game, like big time, all out multiplayer experience.
Like a separate game, like as you thought.
That's what I think.
That's the thing. I don't think they're gonna do faction separate. I don't know. I always felt different on that. I thought factions would kind of be part of the deal, kind of like for example, look at Lost Legacy. Remember how Lost Legacy they didn't advertise multiplayer for it? You just found out that it was part of it.
Too. Yeah, they took less like Uncharted's multiplayer.
Yeah, and so I don't know if they would do that personally. I think they would just have it all together.
Yeah, I thought they would
Last of Us 2 plus that because more likely Last of Us 2 is getting a remake at this point.
That's what I thought. I thought they would do a Last of Us 1 remake, Last of Us 2 update, and Factions $70.
When you say Factions, Jez, I have to ask again.
The new one. No, the one that we were
2?
supposed to get with this one that was supposed to get with Last of Us 2 that they said was so big and ambitious that they had separate off the new Factions.
So if it's supposed to be bigger and more ambitious, then why is it being bundled in with those other things that we already own with better assets? I don't know.
It'll be two remakes and then that would be the main thing.
Am I the only one on the panel that thinks that Factions 2 was going to be this whole brand new multiplayer experience?
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be no $70. Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be no $70.
If they did that, it wouldn't be $70. It would be something completely different.
40, or even PS Plus or something.
So the speculation is it's going to be free to play.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
From what they're saying, that's the speculation. I don't. Listen.
It's so much. I know it's so much you could take with it.
They could sell that thing so much. I don't know how they would give it
depends on how they market it.
They're saying that this Factions is extremely ambitious. Like
they
said that they're going they said they're building this up on like some superhero type.
So what you're saying, so Persona, you're more in my camp then.
But I don't think you think it's 70 Mooch or 60?
No. I don't see them selling Factions for 70.
Listen. Wait. Let me step back. Let me step back for a minute because I was throwing numbers out there. If you guys want to say 40, I shouldn't put a number on it. I don't know. But the point I'm trying to drive home to the panel and the audience is I think that it's going to be its own game.
Yes. It is.
Yeah, separate experience.
It's completely separate from Last of Us Part 2.
Jeff Grubbs also said he says new factions won't be bundled in. That's the point I'm trying to drive home. I shouldn't have put $70 on it. I'll take the fault there. That's my fault. That's fine. Whether it be free to play.
He said it won't even be called Factions, or probably won't be called Factions.
But I get why Jeff Grubb is saying that though, because a lot of the speculations that was out there was that this would have like story elements to it,
like ties to it.
Yeah, story elements and a lot of like, this should sound extremely. I'm really hyped for this, and this is why I want news. Because this sounds extremely ambitious. Like it's supposed to have like the multiplayer that I know people were saying it might have a battle royale as well on top of like existing multiplayer, and it's supposed to have story elements and all this other shit. I'm just like, yo, I mean, give me this factions, man. Like I love factions 1, so
factions 1 is
factions
that's
like,
what I want too, though. I would love a horde mode Persona. And that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, listen,
like an option, the horde mode.
But I'll take it.
And then like have to like scour for like the
like you start off a low shit.
I can fuck with that. I can fuck with
that. Like like in the battle royale style, you have to find the weapons. It'd be dope if you jump in, you fly in, and there's like clicker stuff everywhere. But there also could be stalkers and like the darker areas where the rare shit might be. You have to find it.
Shout out. Let me ask you.
You should have someone like there are ways to go about this.
The way the battle royale could be is like the one who out survives the clickers and bloaters and all that.
Get the best gear. You should have gone this way. Exactly.
Hey, hire the CrossFire.
Yeah, then you really
please get Big Cloud and Persona on your payroll.
That should be fire.
Well, here's a question. So wait,
I'm sorry to cut you off, Mooch.
No, go ahead, Persona.
That's a battle royale. I would play because I'm not really into battle royales. But if it's like a survivor clicker bloater battle royale where you have to out survive
PvP,
I could fuck with that.
Like that's something that changes the formula. You know what I mean? But also keeps it fresh and unique because it will never be the same.
So Ben, you're saying 50. Let's say 50 people drop into the world, right? And they you have to defeat them and the
and clickers
PvE as well. So it'd be
keep in mind, you'll have weapons on the ground, right? You'll have the basic stuff you'll find. You'll probably find like shivs and stuff around the ground for sure, sneak around. But the good shit, like the real good stuff, you have to go in clicker territory and sneak around stalkers and stuff.
So they dabbled with that. They dabbled with that with zombies in Warzone, if you guys remember, and in Blackout. So
but here's another thing you can do too, and this is where they upgraded a lot of stuff. That's why I love The Last of Us 2 with the refinements. You know, like when you throw something in a direction towards the enemy, all the clickers run there, and it's like in droves. So they're like smart how to do it. That's another way you can do it too, to be strategic to get rid of enemies.
Be able to create like
use
a sound,
noise makers, or just throw stuff. There you go.
Like if you're going against like a PvP enemy, throw it at them and run, and let all the clickers and everybody like run.
Let them use or if let's say they have let's say they cleared out one there and they got one of the best guns, but you're on the verge of getting one yourself, but you know he got more ammo. Why not throw all the clickers in his direction? Let him deplete his ammo, and you get the shit.
You know why I would be excited for this over like something like what you're talking about, Mooch, with the zombies and all that? It's because clickers and bloaters and all that and Last of Us are very unique. Like,
I'm with you.
I feel like it would be more
Persona
in the Last of Us type of world.
I would almost get a Last of Us tattoo on my arm, man. I literally,
my God.
Listen, I legit. Listen, first of all, Jez, I'm not. But I have an entire montage. Right? I have a montage. I have a wall of The Last of Us being like that. But that's not happening. But I'm just saying, I'll go that far.
I don't know, man. I can see you swinging through the valley with that tattoo.
Yeah, well, you know, Ben, listen, if it gets me a free meal tattoo and a couple of drinks, that's fine. But my point being is this. Hear me out. I really want to say this much. Pete, I got to give credit where credit's due. The great slow-mo backclap just asked an outstanding question. He says, will this game also, meaning Factions, or Factions 2, which Jeff's saying, whatever it's going to be called, will that be on PC?
More likely, yes.
I say yes.
I think that's no.
I say yes.
The reason why I say it would be too, though, because they want more eyes on it, and plus they've been very generous. More generous I've ever seen the PC.
But did Persona just say that would be an L?
He said it'd be an L.
Yeah. But Persona, listen,
they don't deserve Last of Us or Last of Us. They don't deserve it.
Oh man,
absolutely not.
I already knew it. I already was gonna say it.
The only reason I think that is we're seeing Sony come out and say that they want to be a more multi-platform, and when they mean multi-platform, I think they're trying to embrace PC. So I think that you're not going to get the single player bangers, or as shout out to J-Dub City always says, you're not going to get the goatees right. You're not going to get those going to PC day one. No way. No. But a game like Factions, right, where you need butts in the seats, Persona.
See, but my thing, Mooch, is and I mean this for like really cut and I'm
go
a
ahead.
COD.
I know this was going to get a little bit. Yeah, temperature's a little rise here.
I'm a hardcore. I'm a hardcore COD guy.
I gotta jump off, guys. I'm sorry.
All right, Eric, thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, man. Love chopping up with all you guys.
We got to get you back on, E.
Absolutely, man.
E, thank you. I'll plug you at the end, bro. I got you.
All right, appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Have a good night, guys.
Good night, bro. I'm a hardcore COD guy, bro. You understand? So when it comes to that,
now you're losing me. You keep having me lose. You keep saying COD. Why you do this?
Yo, when they added this crossplay shit to COD, bro, it really killed a lot. It killed the community a little bit because all the cheating and listen, every time I mention cheating, people say, "Well, the console has cheaters too." Yes. The console does, but not at the level of Call of Duty.
Persona makes a hell of a point here.
It's crazy. So when you got something like Factions, where Factions is not as fast-paced as Call of Duty, so because of that, I personally think it's a bit easier to cheat because you could like do the lag switching, you can slow it up and like be able to kill somebody and all. I just don't want PC, and I don't want that crossplay PC experience with something like Last of Us. Because I know how these dudes are, man. They're cheating, got unlimited ammo, seeing through walls, all this stupid shit. Because they do it in Call of Duty.
Turning into
files, man.
Turning into AC-130s flying in the air.
Hold up, y'all. But hold up, y'all. They do that on The Last of Us now. If you get played on console, people looking through walls. They're going. They going in.
Not on PS4, maybe on the PS3 servers or whatever was happening.
Yeah, PS3 servers are hacked. No.
Yeah, I mean, not on PS4, but with this PC, it's going to happen day one. Yeah, you understand?
Especially if it's free to play.
5 years.
I'm not worried about that free to play thing.
Yeah, if there's no barrier of entry, it's going to be even worse.
Yeah, they're not going to
care. People cheating and bro,
they're not going to
deserve this.
Hey, yo, can I answer the question though? Because like for real, because nobody mentioned Gears. Yeah, I'm buying it, and I want to speak on Gears since
I'm
all
buying
you guys.
it too. Go ahead.
Hold on.
I'll do Gears.
For the record, The Last of Us Part 1 is my second favorite game of all time. I beat that and the DLC, so I'm definitely buying that joint, PS5 and PC when that joint drop. I'm definitely copping it twice. So I do want to speak on Gears. I tried playing Gears on PC, Gears 1, right? I got a couple streams of it. That joint kept crashing. I said, nah, it's over. I tried playing it through Game Pass, and it just kept crashing. I said, nah, I'm all right, man. So with Gears, with the trilogy that's rumored to be made, this will put all the Gears games on PC because Gears 2 and 3 aren't on PC. So that'll put all of them joints over there. So like that works for me. So I'll buy that off Steam. I know it's going to run right, and I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm copping them. I'm copping it again, man. But I do want to go back to The Last of Us, man. I personally think Factions 1 is going to be rolled, and they're going to call it Factions 2 with some new maps and new gameplay elements. The gameplay of Last of Us Part 2 will be rolled into Factions Part 1. That's how I always felt. I saw Jeff Grubb, and I saw what he put in the chat. I can respectfully disagree. He know more than I do, of course, but I can respectfully disagree. I think that's going to happen. Also, there was a rumor that it was going to be free to play, but we kind of went over that. PUBG was free to play. We saw motherfuckers running around with their heads cut off and all that. They was using whatever little hacks they was using. Yeah, it was a whole thing, and it's that's a no go. So like the most I pay for it, like I pay $70 if I got to pay $70, but I pay $40 for that online, whatever the online is. I pay $40 for, but I think the new online is going to be rolled into the remake of Part 1.
The only thing I don't want for Factions, and again, this is where I thought they kind of screwed up the first, obviously, Factions in general with this, but I do not want them to have perks hidden behind a paywall or new weapons hidden behind a paywall. You know what I'm talking about? When the crossbow dropped for Last of Us Factions,
oh my god,
yeah, that shit fucked up. Those crazy shotguns, bro. I fucking a shotgun alone, you could fucking just wreck a team by yourself.
I think every weapon needs to be earnable.
That perk where you can move fast, you know what I'm talking about? Where you crouch fast and you can jump and bolt lightweight, I think it's called. That right there broke the game by itself. It's a lot. It's like I don't want to see shit like that in the game. If you want to put shit like that, that's fine, but don't put it behind a paywall. Put it behind actual skills, like make the player earn that and work for it, like legit. That's what I want. I think cosmetics, I have no issues with. I have no issues with cosmetics.
Real quick, I disagree with y'all.
Cosmetics, man. I'm trying to have my Abby gonna be fire. You feel me?
Yeah, no, cosmetics is fine. Like you can.
Clothes,
see, cosmetics is fine, Persona. But what I don't want executions locked behind paywalls.
Yeah, no.
no,
Yeah.
Gear style, dude.
Yeah,
You don't-
I don't want executions locked. You know what I'm saying? I don't want
head
executions
stomp.
locked about it at all. I don't want
Real
that.
quick, I want to tell you where I disagree with y'all on some things too. I played The Last of Us Part 1. I got 10 hours in it because I didn't really play it too much after I beat the game and everything. No. It's just the multiplayer. It just wasn't.
The
really fun.
multiplayer. Okay.
Massive
I
level
thought you
of
meant the
gameplay.
story. My fault.
Oh no,
My
no, I
bad.
played.
That's why I
Oh no,
didn't
Mooch, I
level.
played and beat that thing.
Oh,
I
good,
beat
good,
Breaks
good,
off
good.
the- No. What I'm saying is in terms of the gameplay for the multiplayer, it's more like it ain't like. I guess with COD, maybe you can run and run around, be a madman out that joint. But that one's, with The Last of Us, is more like of a stealth.
It's a
type
stealth.
of
It's a
game.
team.
Last of Us
It's
more of a
team.
grounded team
Yeah,
based.
it's a team-based
Yeah.
game, and that's what makes it special. Because think about it, what game is like that right now? There's nothing really like that.
Not only that, but what makes it worse is that I know where Hustle is going with this. That makes it worse that it's more slow paced and more stealth based because
Right.
imagine having somebody on your team that can see through walls.
Oh, okay.
They got to listen mode out, dog. Take that bullshit out.
That I
Yeah.
agree. That I agree.
Listen mode needs to go through the same overhaul that it did for Last of Us 2. No more seeing through walls.
And take the radar off
Facts.
of it.
Yes,
And since we talking about Gears 2, take the radar off Last of Us 1 too, dog. Like let's really get it in like that.
But for listen mode, you should still be able to hear the footsteps.
I mean,
Just can't see through
Or
the walls.
at least give something similar like Call of Duty. Remember how Call of Duty had Amplify? Or that, I forgot what it's called, where you can hear footsteps? I mean, a word player who's good with a good headset, I'm cool with that. Something. But
yeah, speaking about the Gears stuff, like I think if they do, like they already did Gears 1 already remake with Gears Ultimate, so like I guess they're gonna Ultimate 2 and 3 and put them all together in like a Master Chief collection.
It's
type
like a Master
thing.
Chief collection, and they'll have all the multiplayers. They'll have all the.
Is that enough for this year for Xbox though?
No,
Well, that's
For me it is.
It's
Let's
gonna-
talk about it.
Persona.
No, it's not.
Persona.
No,
it's one of those. It's gonna
At
have
all.
to be right.
It better be. It better make it enough.
Dude,
So-
Now, can this
I
Gears
don't-
collection stand
no
up against
way.
God of War Ragnarok?
Nope.
But what is though? We can't do that. We can't.
Persona's
I don't
being
wanna do
messy.
that.
Listen, it's
My
my
opinion.
opinion. Shout out to Tactical Gamer, Mooch Maniac family member. And this is a question for the panel. BitCloud, maybe even you know this because Bit really knows what's going on behind the scenes. He says, wasn't there a Naughty Dog game supposedly in development called Strays Cross? And he says it was with a black protagonist. Do you know anything about that? Bit?
In
Strange
space.
Cross. I don't remember Strange
No,
Cross.
That's the
IP
joint
that
in
was
space, right?
development- The IP that was in development from Naughty Dog that either got canceled or might still be working on was a sci-fi game.
I know that was
Yes.
the thing that I saw was Savage Starlight, the comic that's in Last of Us. That's why I thought that was what that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't heard. That's what I was talking about earlier. Like, where's Savage Starlight instead of we're getting Last of Us remake. So yeah, that's what that is.
But they're
now,
working on
Strays,
multiple
Strays,
projects.
the cat game you're talking about.
No, Stray's the cat game. That's got nothing to do, but that's not anything to do with Naughty Dog at all.
No, that's what I was thinking of when he said Strays. I'm
Oh,
like,
he
wait,
says-
you talking about
no.
the cat? I'm like, wait, what?
Strays Cross is what he said. I may have taken a breath between the words. That's my fault. All I know is Naughty Dog is working on multiple projects. They're not working on one.
Yeah.
They have
Yeah,
the team.
they got 3 to
Yeah,
4
they got
projects
Uncharted,
working
they
right
got
now.
Last of Us, and they got
Hey, real talk. I wouldn't put that Last of Us remake behind Naughty Dog. I think that's something that's outsourced to another team. I wouldn't put that as one of their 3 projects.
So you think that's something that Evan Wells is like overseeing and Neil's helping with the other?
They're probably looking
they
at
could
it.
probably giving pointers and stuff like that.
They're-
But
Yeah.
I don't think
Herman's
Naughty Dog is
visiting
directly-
studios, dude.
I
Yeah,
mean,
he's
he did
on
say,
Herman is,
yeah.
but I don't think Naughty Dog is directly making or redoing the Last of Us remake because
No, hey, real quick.
they've got 3 projects. What Naughty Dog is working on for sure is this new factions, and then I think it's actually 2 new IPs, and I think the third one might actually be just Last of Us Part 3.
Hey, real quick.
Yeah,
y'all
I
remember?
Did say
Because
it.
Neil wasn't he also giving input for the TV show as well?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, he
I mean,
They don't got
was.
time for all that.
Y'all remember real quick? There was a studio that was working on The Last of Us Part 1, but they got like fired, and they wanted Naughty Dog to oversee it. I forget the name of the studio. Big Cloud, maybe you can help me help move my
It
memory.
was a Brazilian studio. I forgot the name of it though, but it's
Yeah.
in Brazil. Yeah, I know
And they
what
want
you're talking
they really wanted to get they wanted to get put on as like a mainline PlayStation studio. So it was like, hey, we'll just redo this in our spare time. We'll do The Last of Us Part 1 in our spare time. And then Naughty Dog took it over, and a lot of them ended up leaving. That's why I think Naughty Dog is in charge of with The Last of Us Part 1 and all that. What else? I'm just trying to make sure I ain't forget none of my thoughts. No, I think that's it. That's it. For me.
So I'm gonna do this real quick speed round. This last one here, guys. God of War Ragnarok. Let's just
It's
once
coming
and
out.
for all. Is it coming out in 2022? Are we done
Yes.
with? All right.
September.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
definitely coming out. We got too many shows for them to choose from.
September.
It can be debuted
Grind it
at Jeff's show, like one of those, or we can get it in June with this rumored Final Fantasy reveal.
Yo,
for
but I'm
Judicus.
selfish, man. Like, yo, I think God of War, it deserves its own stage. I
I
want,
mean, it
I don't
does,
want God of War
and-
sharing the stage with nobody. I want
No,
it to be,
it does,
I
but-
think it's gonna be a God of War dedicated state of play.
Oh,
I feel like
yeah.
that's what it's gonna be. A God of War
I
dedicated
mean,
state of play.
they've done it already with what was
Horizon.
those two games? They did it with
They did it with Horizon and
I know it
Horizon
was
last
Ghost.
year.
I know it was Ghostwire Tokyo, and it was another game they did it with.
Oh,
It was like
Deathloop.
back to back. It was
No
definitely.
more Death
Yeah.
Loops. No,
So,
no, they
yeah,
did it
yeah.
with Horizon.
You know, like,
around
I
this
definitely
time.
want them to
They
do
did
that, but
Horizon.
it's for yo. There's two. The devs have said it. If you go to Sony Santa Monica's bio, it says 2022.
Yeah.
And they putting out excessive. You know, obviously it was Accessibility Day the other day, so you know that plays into it. But why use God of War and not Horizon Forbidden West? Because Horizon
Not only that
Forbidden
though,
West is
did y'all not notice
accessibility
the
options for
gameplay?
Super.
Mhm.
Oh,
Did you not
yeah.
notice the gameplay?
Yeah,
The
no, I
gameplay
noticed
was
that.
sharper
That
and
background
more polished. It was
Yes,
more polished.
sir. That
Yep.
graphics.
So they
tightened up
pretty
on
much
level 3,
told
feel
you
me?
that the game was while the real reason why they didn't have anything ready, they were going through other stages of polish because you can see
Yeah.
the
Oh, yeah.
different
That-
hairs and
Ubisoft
whatnot with the
downgrade
fur.
there.
Yeah.
It's coming in 2022, and I was talking
It's
about this. Me and Barry were doing a space like 2 or 3 days ago, and I said I think God of War's coming out August 19th, 2022.
Ooh, I'm going September.
The reason why I say August now, see, everyone's saying 11/11/2022, and I'm gonna be honest.
No,
If-
I think
No.
September.
Please-
I'm saying September.
If
September, I go
PlayStation
big.
if PlayStation did 11/11/2022,
No.
yo, they're the gods of the industry, bro. Like, yo,
I
that is the
think-
most petty shit that you can ever do.
I think God of
In
War
the
month.
September.
Yeah.
because the thing is you have Forspoken coming out. That's already
In
said in
October.
October. I would have myself personally. I would have rather it was Forspoken in September or November and God of War in October. But that's
Well,
Forspoken
this is
is
why
like
it's
it has like the worst. It's like in the worst shape right now in terms of like where it's at right now going into next year. Not sure right now. It's not much. I don't
What do
see
you mean, it's in
much.
the worst shape?
Like in terms of the month that it's launching. in.
Oh, yeah, end of
No,
October.
that's a pretty.
Well,
that's a
I
pretty.
don't know.
There's no. Well,
Gotham
Forspoken
is
comes
on.
out the
I think-
beginning of October.
yeah. I think
and Gotham
October's.
Knights is at the end.
That's good time.
Listen,
Nobody wants
I-
November is like it's
I
Call of
thought it was
Duty is
next
the
year.
Modern
Wait,
Warfare.
I thought it was next year.
No,
That's
no,
this
Forspoken-
year.
Forspoken-
Oh,
Forspoken
okay,
is
never mind.
October,
Never mind.
October
Okay.
11th.
I know
tripping, yeah.
Persona, and honestly, me and you usually 1-to-1 on everything. The only thing I gotta say is I know you're big right now on Gotham Knights, and I kind of I'm big. I wanted to be big on it, but
I'm
something.
not.
I feel like with everything that's coming out this fall, I feel like Gotham Knights is gonna kind of get like a little brushed to the side. I don't
Yo,
know.
Mooch, listen, Gotham Knights going to be Dane Game Pass. You feel me?
Yes,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
where it can get the
absolutely.
hype from.
Spencer is at the WB studio right now.
He's
Like,
there
yo,
right
look, we about
now.
to give y'all a grip.
That's right.
We about to give y'all a grip for this. You feel me? We need something for the holidays. Take this,
Feels right
take
there.
this 300 mil, man. We need that. You feel me?
Yep.
Nah, but I mean, Gotham Knights. Yo, I don't know, man. Gotham Knights looks great to me. You know, obviously the graphics isn't perfect, man. Right? I'll definitely agree with people on that. I think it's good enough for what they're doing. It is a work in progress, and graphics can, as we can see with God of War, graphics can clearly be. Even though I thought God of War's graphics with the first trailer that looked great, but seeing it be even better in this new little clip that they showed, it's like, damn, you feel me? So I definitely think graphics can be improved. But from what I've seen with gameplay in the world and like what they're doing here, it's my cup of tea, man. You know, I love Avengers, I love Destiny, I love those type
You
of
didn't
like
think
these
like
types of games. Man.
the Dick Grayson and all that? It looked like it was kind of floaty. It looked a little.
The animation was rough.
I was getting
animation.
Fortnite vibes with Dick Grayson.
Go back to the Batman games. Batman was floating ballerina around all that motherfucking shit too, man. Like,
Yes, he
he
was.
was doing that same shit. You
But
feel
it's
me? So,
Batman,
like,
not his
what Dick
sidekick.
Grayson Nightwing is doing, that's nothing short of what Arkham games have been doing since its inception. Now, with the Red Hood gameplay, I'll throw you a bone and be like, all right. But I think the Red Hood gameplay, the reason why it didn't look as spectacular is because more so of who was behind the controller and not necessarily the character. That's personally what I think, but I'll know when I get the game in October.
No, wait. What's the two release dates? What's Forspoken's release date and what's Gotham Knights? Anybody have that off the top of their head?
Forspoken is October 11th, and
Okay.
Gotham Knights is October 25th. So they're 2 weeks.
Okay, 2 weeks. You know, and I'll be honest with you, there's enough time there. There's plenty of time there to enjoy Forspoken and then get into Gotham.
I'm
Listen,
hyped for
I'm not.
Forspoken,
Listen,
man.
I'm not saying to you, Persona. You know, we don't speak in absolutes here. Okay. So I'm not saying I'm not gonna get it. I want to see a little more.
Buying the game. You know you buying the game.
Listen, you know
Stop
what?
it,
And I blame Persona and I blame Jay Barry because these guys can sell a game like there's nobody's business. I'm telling you right now. So this is a good shot I'm getting now. I'm probably picking it up. I'm probably picking it up.
The holiday's pretty packed though.
It is
because
looking
we also got
good.
the Japanese game Battlefield.
Oh no,
Valkyrie
they can't do
Elysium.
October, dude. Scorn's supposed to come out in October.
It's a wrap.
Holy Spirit, activate. Holy Spirit, activate. Scorn, clear the field.
Activate.
Scorn is taking October. I just checked.
We got Diofield Chronicles. We got Valkyrie Elysium. We got Grand Blue Relink. No, it's a lot. You know, the Pokemon games. It's a stacked holiday this year, man. It's very
Modern
very
Warfare
stacked.
2 should be good. That'll bring a lot of people
Modern
back. You better.
Warfare.
I hope to God I get Persona and I get Jay Barry back.
I'm picking it up.
I will
right.
come back to that.
I lost them for Vanguard. I lost them.
They got trash.
I did. I lost them. But listen, you know what's funny too? Because I've been doing this too long. Everybody said when we had the backpacks and wall running, people said, give me boots on the ground. They listened. And now people are like, I don't want any boots anywhere near the ground. And that's the thing.
Those people you don't listen to.
Exactly, bit. So
that killed Call of Duty for me permanently.
That jetpack garbage.
Yeah, I didn't care for that either. Okay, so I put this last topic up there because we went through everyone just agreed God of War's coming out this year. I also agree. And then Persona, you nailed it. I said this, I tweeted it out the minute that we saw that Redfall and we saw Starfield was getting pushed to like March, April 2023. I said the only game that's really something Microsoft can do as far as a, in air quotes, big splash is Gotham Knights. I don't see how else they fill Game Pass because I got to be honest with you, a lot of people are going to leave Game Pass because there's nothing else for the rest of the year. What's the big push?
When's Modern Warfare? I'm gonna say when's Modern Warfare 2 drop?
They can't put Modern Warfare 2 in there. It's got contractual obligations with PlayStation.
Hogwarts has.
I've been hearing something about that
as well with PlayStation. So.
I've been hearing in the market rights though they might not have for Modern Warfare 2. That's what going around.
I'm thinking they're gonna they're gonna swing it as a good faith or something like that. They kind of, I think they're gonna put Modern Warfare in.
I mean, Microsoft.
You think so, Jess?
I think so.
What do you got, Persona?
Microsoft said they were going to uphold the contractual obligations for PlayStation when it came to whatever contracts they have in place now.
Yeah, I don't think they can do it.
The next 2 or 3 cards.
Game Pass.
I mean, obviously the game's like I think what they're talking about there is like the game will come to PlayStation.
So let's put this.
I don't think they can pull it.
I've not seen any. Of course, nobody was like, "Hey, Mooch, take a look at these legal documents." I've not seen. But I heard Sony.
That's what I'm just hearing.
But I heard PlayStation.
Activision yet, so
but see, what I heard was I heard that PlayStation has in writing that part of that contractual marketing lingo is in there says no Game Pass.
Oh.
So I don't know if that's true or not. Again, that's all hearsay. Take it with a grain of salt, folks. If it ends up in Game Pass, great, I guess. You know, I don't. I think if that was going to happen, I think we'd be hearing about it. I really do.
You will in June.
Not necessarily because we haven't seen the game yet. You know, I think
that's true. They haven't really revealed it, done an official reveal.
They usually wait to June. So we think that there's no way that any first party game is going to come out besides probably a Forza Motorsport, the service game or whatever Forza Motorsport's going to be. I think that's the only game that could release that.
They might surprise and have something else.
An Avowed or Hellblade?
No.
I think Hellblade.
Jeff Grubb even said last week in the chat.
Yeah, I know. I said the same thing.
No, he said no.
I'm hoping.
Forza Motorsport is the only thing, and then Scorn. The Scorn devs already confirmed that their game is coming out.
Scorn, yes.
September.
Yeah, Scorn doesn't have a date though, man.
They said around September, around the fall.
It says October. No, it says October to be determined.
Okay, and then when it comes to, again, I think they're going to snatch up Gotham Knights. I really do think.
I think Gotham Knights is the big one. I think that's the big one.
That's the one. Because Hogwarts is Sony.
Yep.
Not going to get Hogwarts.
If I heard what I heard right, that Sony, as Sony has progressed through the years, they've been putting into their contractual deals that part of it is they can't go. They're not going to pay for marketing rights, and then they're going to go throw the game right into Game Pass.
No.
So it doesn't.
Smart.
I think
it's really smart. Absolutely.
I wouldn't. How stupid would I be to pay $100 million for a marketing rights for a game just for it to be $15 a month in a goddamn service?
Right. Exactly. You want people to know that your console is the place to play it on. Period.
Yep, absolutely.
So all right, guys, I want to say this much. Persona, you said it when the show started. This was a great show. And I got to tell you something. Outstanding conversation all the way around. You saw some people had to leave. It's Friday night. No, I picked Friday night for CrossFire because we kick off the gaming weekend. That's great. But at the same time,
madman. That's why.
What's that? Say it again, Bet.
So you're a madman. That's why.
Hey, I'll take that.
It is literally after RGT.
I was going to say, Bit's literally right before
we got
me.
Kids. We got kids.
We got kids.
Hey, Mooch, what I tell
We
you,
have games. That's what we got.
Games. The show outline this week, man. What I tell you.
Persona, you're usually on. You're always on target, man. You know this. Shout out to Persona. Let's be this, but real. I gotta say, thanks to the panel. Thanks to the chat. Thank you guys for the super chats. Please, guys, hit the like button. There's still 342 of you guys here after 2 hours. That's amazing. Thank you. Please hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. If you don't subscribe to this channel, please do. I'm actually making a big thought right now. I've been doing some Twitch, gameplay. I'm thinking about moving my talents over to YouTube. I don't know yet if I'm going to do it. I think a lot more people would watch the show if I did it over there versus over on Twitch. It's really hard to get people to go from YouTube to Twitch. So I'm thinking maybe I'll bring that over to this channel and we'll see. But please hit that subscribe button. It means the world to me. I'll go in reverse order here and we'll start with the great BitCloud Gaming. Bit, listen, a lot of people go, how's Bit going to come on your show when he just did a show? I said, that's how talented this individual is. So, Bit, I appreciate you coming on the show after you just did a show. Let people know where they can find you, man. And truly, again, really appreciate you being here tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Had to get the fatigue back in the content creation finally. So my contract's up, so your boy's back. YouTube, the whole 9 yards.
Good to have you back, Bit.
Very, very happy for that. RGT Podcast Fridays, BitCloud Gaming, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all gaming news. You already know. That's where I'm at. Persona, always a pleasure. Hustle, you already know.
Yes, sir.
And Jez, go play with your booster. Nobody talks to you. Booster. Nah, man. Shout out to Jez. Shout out to the chat, though. Y'all have a good one. Enjoy your weekend, and y'all be good.
Thank you, Bit. I appreciate that. And then the other person that popped in did me a personal favor, the great Jez7780. Jez, honestly, great show again on Monday night. Shout out to Frogs as well. You guys just do outstanding work. And actually, you I always say it wrong. Was it JVG? Who'd you have on?
A JVB.
Great guest. Absolutely phenomenal. Really enjoyed his takes.
Yeah.
He knows a lot about what's going on behind the scenes. So shout out to him. Jez, again, thanks for being here tonight, buddy. Let people know where they can find you. And as always, can't wait till you return to Crossfire.
Hey, thanks, man. It's been a pleasure speaking with everybody. Awesome show, man. I just felt like we're just sitting back, just conversating, man. This is awesome. Thanks, thanks for the invite, and I love the Crossfire Friday nights after deprogramming after the week. So shout out to everybody that came on. Hit that like button, everybody, and if you want to see my show, Grinds My Gears with Frogs on Monday nights, subscribe over to Jez7780 GMG on the YouTubes, and then Jez7780 over on the Twitters, where I just put in a tweet earlier today from Moon Knight. I worked on that one. When they say Xbox has no games, the check marks come out. Go, that's not true. That's not true.
Shout out to Jez,
dude. I don't know, man. I love it. But anyway, I love the memes and shit. But yes, definitely follow me over there on the YouTubes. It's been growing like crazy. Gaming Grindhouse. I want to thank everybody. And hit that like button on the way out and tip your waiters.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jez. I appreciate that. And then my boy here, Persona! That's Persona Speaks. It's gaming with Persona. It's just Persona. Persona, honestly, man, great to have you on the show, man. Love your takes. I put you on the hot seat a couple times tonight because, you're opinionated, and it's your opinion, and I like to hear it, man. I just do. Shout out also to the great Jay Barry, who was in chat earlier. Not sure if he's still here with us, but you guys got a big show tomorrow. I want to say thanks for being here tonight. Keep doing what you're doing on Mondays. You're my driver. I know how you're always like, you might be listening to me in the car. You might be listening to me in the shower. I don't know where you are. Maybe you just had a fight with your missus. Maybe you didn't, but I just appreciate you listening. Either way, Persona, I want to say this much. I thank you for doing what you do, man. I love the intro. I love the enthusiasm, and that's what keeps things electric. So, Persona, let people know where they can find you, and I'm going to bother you to get you back on Crossfire real soon.
Absolutely. I definitely want to be here for that Xbox showcase.
Yes, sir.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Yo, listen, man, I appreciate all of y'all, man. Shout out to the panel, man. It was a really great panel. Really dope conversations, man. Shout out to the chat. You feel me? Make sure you hit the like button, man. Shout out my boy Mooch. You support my boy Mooch.
Thank
So
you.
for me, man, I am Persona. The chat was loving me today, Mooch. I'm happy.
You were
I'm
under.
happy, man.
You said 10. We were under.
Way under. Ain't nobody was hating on your boy in the chat. I love it, man. I love it. I think the Mooch community has finally embraced Persona, which I'm happy about.
As they should, right?
Yes, absolutely. So listen, man. For me, man, I am Persona. What's Up PlayStation podcast this Saturday, 11 a.m. with me and my bro Bari on the What's Up PlayStation YouTube channel. Definitely check that out. You can follow me on Twitter if you want, at Persona Speaks. I post gameplay, but I also post a little console war shit too, man. Like, listen, man, be at your own risk, all right? It's all jokes though, nothing too serious, because who wants to be serious all the time? That's trash. And yeah, man, that's it, man. I appreciate y'all, man. I hope you have a great night, great weekend. Be safe, have fun with whatever you're gonna do, and remember, a gamer is someone who plays games. Have a great evening.
That seems pretty easy and straightforward, to be honest with you, Persona. I think you nailed that. Shout out to Persona, man. Thank you for being here. And then my boy Hustle and Motivate. This man here is just talent amongst talent. Hustle, let people know where they can find you, man. I love what you're doing with our boy Lord Attic, doing a great show over there. Love the streams. Your energy's electric. And honestly, I love your takes, man. I really do. And I like how you kind of wrapped up your last thought. You said, hold on a second. You said, let me make sure I got every thought out. You went, yep, I got every thought out. Mooch, go ahead and take it away. Hustle, outstanding to always have you on the show. Hopefully we can get you on more often. Let people know where they can find you. And thanks for being here tonight.
Hey, thank you for having me. And shout out to the panel, man. I always have fun, but I always have fun when I'm up in here anyway. Hey, catch me Wednesdays, Iron Lord's channel with Lord Attic on the Attic Show. Catch me, hopefully, every Thursday, every Saturday, and videos on Sundays on my channel, Hustle and Motivate. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk about the Ambassador, the Gears and T-Lu remakes or remasters, what have you. And let's see what else. Oh, Sunday, hopefully, keep your fingers crossed. AEW video, AEW Fight Forever.
There we go.
The person
you ain't ready. You're not ready for that smoke. So don't even talk about it.
Hey, Big Cloud, I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna bash your head in
You ain't
first.
ready. You ain't ready for that smoke.
Ladies and gentlemen, the same person who made WWF No Mercy, the director, is working on this game with you. So that video will be coming along. I just want to figure out how I want to talk about it. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
He's not. It's not Aki. It's not Team Aki anymore.
No, it's not.
But yeah, they ain't no more. But it's it's the same guy who directed the No Mercy game. And if you played No Mercy, I got 2 copies of that thing. So if you played No Mercy, you know what it's about. I got some concerns, but I'll get to that video hopefully Sunday. Thank y'all for having me. Hey, make sure y'all check out What's Up PlayStation. Hey, Persona, I bumped into y'all boy Colin a little while ago, man, and yeah. Humble cat. He's a super humble cat, and y'all gave a super dope interview. You and Jay Barr, so that was super dope. Yeah, Big Cloud. Hey, no problem. Big Cloud, you over there with Lords of Gaming. Let's see, IGN. Good Lord, sir. Is there anything that you ain't doing right now?
Famous, man. That man famous.
That man getting there. He putting in work. He's doing solid cast as well. Jazz, my former UPP brethren. I see you doing what grinds your gears and everything, and I be poking my head in there. I be looking. I'm like, all right, I be seeing.
Come on to get you on.
Hey, you might stream a little too late for me, bro. I'll be getting bed by 8:30, sir.
Oh, then you're not listening. I'll keep you up there.
Jez is that is a late podcast. Be ready for going on Jez's. Make a late pot of coffee.
hey, I can't do that because then I don't want to have to leave, and I don't like doing that. I just this ain't my thing. But y'all make sure y'all catch me. Follow me on Twitter. I'm positive, but I also critique. You don't have to be Mr. or Mrs. Super duper positive because nobody's gonna believe you. Ladies and gentlemen, I had a blast. I definitely had a blast here tonight, and thank y'all. Thank y'all for accepting me. I have fun here.
Absolutely, Hustle. Always great to have you. Just a couple of quick, just for
fresh
everybody
meat
else.
For the grinder with that AEW game. So I guess.
There it goes from Bit. He's got to throw a jab in there. One last jab from Bit. I want to say shout out to everybody that was also here and had to leave. Shout out to Eric Jackson. You guys can find him over on Twitter. Crap Gamer will be back next week, so go over and check him out. It's Crap Gamer Reviews on YouTube, and it's _Crap Gamer on Twitter. Xbot448 will be returning next week. Remember, this is the week he works, so he will be back next Friday. That's Xbot448 everywhere. The great Gaming Forte. It's his birthday, so happy birthday to Gaming Forte. He definitely couldn't make it tonight. Yep. He's having some cake. He's enjoying himself. He's doing his thing. He's playing some games. Shout out to Forte. Enjoy your birthday, man. Hope you're enjoying it.
He was miserable. Sarah, he had to cut the lawn.
Yeah. His wife was like, she was like, "Happy birthday! Now cut the lawn."
No, cut the lawn.
Yeah. So it was like poor Gaming Persona. Pardon me, Gaming Forte. Forte, happy birthday, brother. We miss you. And And, honestly, man, I'm blown away. I'm floored. Just an outstanding show tonight. Please, guys, again, before you leave, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Just come over and see us. We're going to be back next Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Enjoy your weekend. And, guys, remember what Persona said. Just play a game. That's all you got to do. Play the game. Enjoy the game. We'll see you guys next Friday. Peace out and good night.
What's a game?